the meme goes, as the constant joke goes. And you're right, it is the grassy knoll of the holidays, the space between that Dave Matthews sings about.
I think that's what he was singing about, the space between.
You know how I know, Rich?
How?
Because I'm officially wearing pajama pants.
Oh, you're disgusting.
Yeah. Live from Idaho. I'm live from Idaho. And the rest of the crew live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. Day 2 of the segmented Dan Patrick hat trick. Always an honor to be here. Happy holidays, guys. It's a pleasure to be here during the gooch of the holidays. You can watch us live right now on YouTube. You can see my pajama pants. It's youtube.com @Covino and Rich FSR. And see our huge melons as we simulcast right now
up,
and chat live. What's going on, Rich? How are you, man?
Rocking
Good morning.
a new 49er shirt I got the other day. Pumped about last night. I can't believe they are one game away from somehow becoming the 1 seed in the NFC. Kyle Shanahan is coaching the best football I think you've ever seen.
Coach of the year, no doubt,
well,
no
some people,
diggity.
will say Ben Johnson and they throw other names out there. What Kyle Shanahan has done.
Some people could say whatever they want. I see it with my own eyes. Man, the way they're moving the ball, the way they're playing, the way they've dealt with injuries, the spirit of that team, the fortitude they play with. Dude, they just look unstoppable right now. I mean, the Bears played a hell of a game. Lots of great games. You know what? Let's get right into it. Again, happy holidays from your boys, Covino and Rich. Clearly, Rich is a big 49ers fan. He's super fired up. We had some great games. What a great game last night. We take your phone calls every Monday. We get you involved. We get you included. That's what we do, Covino and Rich. And we do something called Things That Made You Go, Anything you observed from this past weekend. Anything in the world of football, in the world of life, in the world of holiday movies, in the world of the grundle of the holidays, the space between. Whatever it is you observed, you call and let us know, and we discuss it. And, Rich, your team, the 49ers, are clicking like we said last weekend.
I think
even more so at the right time.
My first observation was the fact that Brock Purdy never gets rattled. After that first pick six, within 15 seconds of the game, it's 7-0. And everyone's like, oh, no. Oh, here we go. It's unraveling.
And he's playing with a little bit of confidence, a little cockiness, a little gusto, and his dance moves are improving. Like, he is leading that team, man, and they're moving the ball with ease, dude. Their offense looks unstoppable.
I worried that without Kittle, they would struggle in certain areas, but Tongas, this guy's really a solid fill-in. He's been clearly under the tutelage.
Well, I want to make it clear,
Kittle,
too, Rich. I'm not swinging from the 49ers beanbag.
I am a little.
Rich is a 49ers fan. I'm watching unbiased, just watching the game. Of course, I'm more familiar with the 49ers and root a little bit harder because of Rich. I don't want to see him sad in the studio. I don't root against them. But props to the Bears putting up a fight. They look great, too. But the 49ers, again, minus Kittle, every team has injuries, Rich. So clearly the 49ers defense isn't what it should be right now. But, man, what a game, what an exciting weekend. And that's got to be observation number one.
Yeah.
What a battle it's going to be with the Seahawks.
I would say the thing that made me go, the most was that the game, it really is a game of a play here, a play there. The Bears fans, and I'm not trying to, be condescending, you have nothing to be ashamed of. No, but they're really like, you're one pass away, and all of a sudden, if Caleb Williams on that final play finds someone in the end zone, then the Bears are the greatest, and the Niners blew it. Like, it really is like those teams last night battled where I wouldn't be shocked if either one. Like, that's not a game when your team loses where you're like, oh, man, we suck. Like, you were a play away. You really were. You were a play away. You ran out of time.
Well, the Bears blew it on that, second to last drive where they didn't score a touch. They should have scored a touchdown and had to go for the field goal because you knew the 49ers would come back. It was just such a back-and-forth game. Just a back-and-forth, explosive, offensive game. And both teams look great, and we reap the benefits of it. So even if you're a Chicago fan, you got to be pumped. But, man, what a weekend, guys. And this is, again, where we get you involved. Even on our show, Monday through Friday, Covino and Rich, we're on 5 to 7 on the East, 2 to 4 on the West. So when did you buy that 49ers shirt? Over the weekend?
I bought my kids some new 49ers, some new sports gear for Christmas. And I was like, you know what? I saw this shirt. I'm like, you know what? I need a new T-shirt. So let me grab one. So figured I'd rock it proud today.
He's bearing the lead. He also bought them some new Dodger gear.
I refused. I thought, Danny, I was at the shop at the mall. The I don't know what it's not. It's just some random jersey
it's
shop.
Like sports treasures.
Yeah, and I did see some Dodger stuff, and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't buy my kids Dodger stuff yet. If you don't know, my kids are Dodgers fans. I am not, but I couldn't do it. So let's go over this. Things that made you go, Week 17.
Things that make you go,
All right, so.
Let's go, baby!
Things that make you go,
Things that make you go,
I would say anyone that ever called Brock Purdy a game manager has to be seeing some of the things he's doing, and they're like, all right, like we may have misread this whole situation a year ago, because some of the plays Brock Purdy was making and the way he moves around in moments, you can't in any way say he's a game manager.
The way he moves around, the poise, and Rich, when you're watching through other people's eyes, through the holidays, you're probably watching with mixed company and everything. Two other observations I made.
Oh, people you don't usually watch with, yeah.
Yeah, because you don't normally watch with these people is, oh my God, is this guy 18? Like how young he looks, young he is, yet how confident he plays. Like he has this sounds corny, Rich, but it's noticeable. He has a really great touch. So again, or feel for the ball. Might not have the strongest arm, might not be the fastest guy, but he has all those intangibles, those qualities. He has a really great touch. He makes really great passes, really great timing, and he gels really well with this team. It's really fun to watch. Rich, if I were you, and I know you don't want to get ahead of yourself as the resident 49ers fan, I'd be really pumped about this team.
I've been to, a couple Super Bowls in the last handful of years, 2 times lost to the Chiefs under Kyle Shanahan, and I feel like we talked about did their window close. It looks a little open right now. The window's open right now. So the NFC is wide open, and that's another observation where you look around the NFC, and I don't think there is a team you'd be shocked if they didn't make it or did make it. I still think the Rams are the best team in the NFC, and they're not going to be your 1 seed. They're a wild card, and I think the Rams could very well be the best team. And think about it. We talked about the game of inches. Like last night, the 49ers are the greatest because the Bears couldn't convert on 4th and goal with 4 seconds left. Rewind to a week ago or so, where on Thursday night, the Seahawks go for 2, make it, and win. If they missed that, the Rams are the 1 seed, and we're like, dude, this is the Rams year. So it really is a matter of who's going to be hot in the month of January.
Yeah, you're lucky that hook and ladder play did not develop further down the field.
Oh, Lenore, stop that. My goodness, that scared the crap out of every Niners fan. But all your observations from Week 17, let's hear them. In for Dan Patrick, Covino and Rich. I think that you don't like to live on hope of this guy's going to return. Do you remember last year, Danny, the Lions who ended up faltering down the stretch against the Commanders? Do you remember the sentiment was, if they make it to the NFC Championship game or Super Bowl, Aiden Hutchinson's going to make a comeback. Do you remember that story last year?
Of course.
And then they fall short against the Commanders and Jaden Daniels, and it's like, oh man, would Aiden Hutchinson have come out in that glorious moment and be like, I'm here to save the defense? The 49ers have a situation now where Fred Warner, such a conditioned guy. I don't know if you saw Fred Warner jumping on the field, congratulating his teammates.
Of course, they showed him a bunch of times last night.
He started the game by getting the Niners crowd fired up. Dome City. There's the sentiment that he's saying, I'll be back if the 49ers make the NFC Championship game, which makes this game against the Seahawks even more high level, because if they win, they have a bye, which means they'd have to win a divisional game, and then you're telling me you beat the Seahawks, then you win one playoff game, and you get Fred Warner back for the NFC Championship? I don't know how real that is, but that sounds insane.
No, it sounds real inspiring. It sounds real great, really motivating for your 49ers, but not to get too far ahead, but that is the next game. how do you think they size up is something else that makes you go, at this point of the season. 49ers Seahawks. What a battle. By the way, I do want to wish our producer, super producer, Danny G, a happy belated birthday. He celebrated his birthday weekend during the taint of the holidays. So happy birthday, Danny G. He's got the smoothest, most buttery voice in all the radio land. And he's on the phones at 877-99 on Fox. 877-99 on Fox. Wish Dan a happy birthday again. In for Dan Patrick, Covino, and Rich. So, Richie, I think you have every reason to be excited, and that just gives you another layer for your 49ers.
Here's the thing. I'll give you another thing that made not just me, but everyone go, And again, any observation from Week 17, a casual Monday, let's pump it up a little bit. It's as you said, the taint of the holiday season. What day is it? Where are we? Everyone's like off from work.
I think the ain't quite is the
official,
proper, because it ain't quite Christmas, ain't quite New Year's. It's the ain't quite of the holidays.
So while we all sit around, scratching our bellies in our pajamas, I think for football, hell yeah, Saturday night, Niners hosting the Seahawks for the 1 seed and for the NFC West for everything is fun as a viewer because now you got this primo Saturday night primetime, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 out here on the West. That's the matchup. But do you think both teams got a little bit of a raw deal? Short week. They have to play on Saturday, and that game is not your Sunday night game because the networks decided to go with Aaron Rodgers against the Ravens.
Yeah, I noticed that, which is also a big game. We got to talk about the Steelers, too, blowing it. And the Ravens stepping up big time.
I mean, I know Aaron Rodgers. I know he's ratings, and you could say, well, the 49ers had primetime games the last couple weeks. Yeah, but Saturday night's also a primetime game, and it's the game with the highest level of significance. I just can't understand how. And the 49ers went from Monday night to Sunday night to now Saturday night. Their schedule's all over the place, but I guess if they're rolling and gelling and they got that camaraderie, I guess it doesn't matter. But when you got a guy like Kittle and you saw big Trent Williams get banged up last night, you don't think those guys want one extra day before the biggest game of the season?
I don't think there's any question. I know Aaron Rodgers' ratings, like you said, but that's not the most exciting matchup of the weekend. Yeah, I do think the 49ers-Seahawks game got hosed a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
No Metcalf, of course, for the Steelers. That's going to hurt, it hurt yesterday. And then also bad back for Lamar right now, so that seems like it's going to be a defensive game and maybe ugly. So
that Lions fan is the Ravens MVP this year. Without DK Metcalf, the Ravens seem to – I believe they're like 3.5-point favorites opening up.
That Lions fan spoke out over the weekend, too. You may have been returning presents. You may have missed it. Again, it's a confusing time, the space between the holidays.
Did you like his folding table?
Had a press conference.
He had his own little press conference just asking DK Metcalf for an apology because he said two things he doesn't stand for is animal cruelty and racism. And he goes, he wants the world to know. He says his family's getting death threats. So DK Metcalf, please do the right thing and tell the world that I said nothing that you claim I said. Nothing racist whatsoever. He's just a Lions fan. Honestly, Rich, a part of me believes him. And DK Metcalf not being there and that spin they tried to put on the story, like if there was any truth to it, the NFL wouldn't have suspended him the way they did, as fast as they did. And it played huge dividends for Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. And if I was Rodgers, dude, I would be so pissed about that because there were so many plays – and they made a point of it during the game that were designed for DK Metcalf. And had he been there, it would have been a different outcome. And now all the pressure on them against the Ravens next week.
I said it a week ago, and I'm not moonwalking. I'm not backpedaling. I still think that Lions fan's an ass clown, but probably the type of guy you'd have a beer with, but he's a dope. I mean, taunting
he's just
a player.
A dopey fan.
Yeah, he's a fool.
That doesn't make him a racist,
but
right?
You know who a bigger fool is? DK Metcalf. I heard LeVar on Two Pros and a Cup of Joe driving in this morning. He was chopping up with Jonas. And they were talking about how, LeVar played in the NFL. He was a superstar at Penn State. He goes, fans taunt you. He's like, I would just casually be like, yeah, your mother. Like that was his response. He would, he would.
Your mother is.
Yeah, your mother is. That was his thing. He goes, whatever someone said, he jokingly, in jest, said that back because He's like, you can't let someone get you out of your zone. And
out of your zone, weak skin, thin skin. Again, superstar, not trying to call out DK, but he put his team in such a bad situation with that selfish move of not being able to control himself. I know he doesn't care about the money, but still took a major hit, over $500,000
and you know what?
Games.
The Steelers could have got out of some financial long-term commitments, but they didn't. They did the right, quote, moral thing because they have a commitment to DK. But I'll tell you what, DK didn't seem to have a commitment to the betterment of the Steelers. When you act like an ass and respond to a fan like that, again, I still think that fan's like a jackass. But
yeah, why though, Rich? He's a goofball fan.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's a jackass.
Because he has a wig on. No, every guy they show in the stands has a stupid hat on.
By the way,
has a stupid chain on.
If you want to,
has face paint on.
So
he's not the only guy.
Look at any network when they come back from commercial break and they pan to all those people in the crowd. There's a lot of fanatical, crazy people. I'm saying he's an ass clown. But then again, we have a bunch of our friends are ass clowns. I'm just saying DK really put the Steelers in a bad spot.
They really. And I feel for Aaron Rodgers, too, because, even that last play, tailor-made for DK Metcalf, he would have scooped that up, jumped up the corner of the end zone and got that one. And the Steelers win, but that's not the case. Now, all the pressure on them playing a hot – all of a sudden, the Ravens are hot. Derrick Henry's unstoppable, running people over. He had two game balls at the end of the game. How are you going to stop them now?
I was going to say, most people, a lot of people had their fantasy football, I would imagine, Danny championships this week because no one really plays in week 18, right? If you had your fantasy football championship and you had DK Metcalf, if you had Derrick Henry, who really didn't do much all year for the most part.
Yeah.
And you had him yesterday, my goodness.
I just felt for the Steelers in that moment because, and there's a lot of people yelling and screaming at Tomlin. A lot of that offense, and Danny G will back me up, clearly designed around DK Metcalf. And I don't want to be too hard on DK Metcalf, but that mistake played huge dividends for them this weekend.
It's not just like a little mistake. It's you took the best. You could argue the best player on that offense out of the final 2 games of the season in a playoff push. And look at it. I'm not saying we're geniuses because everyone made a ton of weak-ass predictions and awesome predictions going into the season. But I think the one thing we were all in agreement on, and it's not just us, so this is no pat on the back. I'm not a Barry Horowitz in the 80s wrestling, patting myself on the back. Remember that guy? Is that a reference anyone gets? Barry?
I don't think so.
Barry. Okay. I was going to make a weaker reference, so it's all good.
Okay, but
I was gonna say Pat on the back. Pat who? Pat from SNL. Ooh, are you the guys that hate everything? Ooh.
That's a good one. Okay, all right, so maybe yours was worse.
I feel like I'm hanging out with my pops right now.
You guys remember? It's Pat. Pat on the back, dude.
Awesome. 2 lame 80s and 90s references.
I don't know
who's right up
worse.
my alley. Pat Summerall. We could have thrown Pat Summerall in there. I love that legend.
Yeah,
rest in peace.
Pat
Summerall. But we all said the same thing. We said that the Steelers probably go 9-8 or 10-7. And we all said, they'll probably go 10-7. Got a little better because of Rodgers. And they're 10-7, sneak in the playoffs. And then the thing was, we all said, and if the Steelers win one playoff game, it would be considered like
a victory.
And they are.
Oh, wow, man, they did it.
And it's really exactly where they are right now. And DK Metcalf could be the reason why it doesn't go down.
I don't see it going their way, man.
Yeah.
I feel like momentum's not on their side right now, and it is on the Ravens' side. And, it is a great game. Now that we're talking about it, it is a great game, but I don't think it takes precedence over your 49ers-Seahawks game.
Yeah, if both teams were healthy or had somebody that wasn't suspended, then I think it would be a better matchup, obviously. But, Rich, it's kind of like when Kittle is missing from your offense. He makes your offense go.
Yeah.
Metcalf makes that Steelers offense go.
Yeah, which is why it was so surprising the Niners last night. It just shows that maybe it's just Shanahan or Tongas is good. But interestingly enough, the games that matter the most next week, I think the NFL, they lucked out. I wish there was more excitement in that NFC North. I wish the Lions didn't phase off at the end, and I wish the Packers. I wish there was something at stake in that division because it's a really exciting division in my mind. But there's 3 real good games of significance. There's a couple for seating purposes, but 3 of them, 2 of them are Saturday, 1 is Sunday night. I just think they got the order a little wrong. Saturday, because the 2 games that division, other than the Niners Seahawks, the 2 other games that determine in and win, out if you lose, division titles should be Saturday. I feel like Bucks, Carolina, and the Steelers, Ravens should have been like your doubleheader on Saturday. And they could have even made it a gimmick, Covino, like in and win. This is like round 0 of the playoffs, essentially. Because in those 2 games, losers out, winner moves on. So why would they not? And the one's an NFC matchup, one's an AFC matchup. I think the NFL should have stacked Ravens, Steelers, Bucks, Panthers, and made that your Saturday, almost like call it like the mini wild card or something. Because
there's got to be a reason, though, Rich. There's got to be a ratings reason, a money reason. The NFL very calculated in how they do this, so I'm sure there's a reason that we don't know. We as fans, though, just don't see it that way.
It can't simply be a network thing where the Niners played too many times on primetime games on a certain network, or does maybe who gets that Saturday night game, Danny? Is that Fox? Does Fox get that Saturday night 49ers game? Let me take a look, because maybe it's a network that got picks, because isn't there something to be said about how the networks do get preferences when they want at times?
There's probably something like that we're not seeing.
All right, well, ABC, Saturday, your Saturday NFL this week, Bucks, Panthers, Niners, Seahawks, those 2 NFC battles, they're both on ABC and ESPN. So maybe part of the Monday Night Football package is they got a pick. Maybe, you pick your game. What do you want to be your primetime game, ABC? And then on Sunday, of course, Sunday Night Football, the last game of the year, that's on NBC. So other than that.
So much more to get to, Rich, and that's where we get you involved. 877-99 on Fox. We touched on the 49ers and the Steelers for the most part. We haven't even talked about any other games, so we got to get into it.
Yeah.
So much drama in the LBC. So many things happened over the weekend. The Bills, should they have went for the tie? That's another one, right? Like, that was another game.
And Josh Allen answering a question just as honest as he could. So we'll get to all your Week 17 stuff. Just a lot of fun. Hopefully everyone had a great Christmas with friends and family. And as Covino said, not to be cliche, but this is the week where I think everyone is in chill mode, which is nice because you got a lot of football. You have a lot of laying on your couch watching football time. So we'll get to all your feedback next, right here on Covino and Rich. If you don't care about the Mets or Yankees, good, because part 2 of this it could do with football, baseball, basketball, anything. It's more of just a 2025 general sentiment.
Let's explain, too, what makes sports beautiful, makes sports great. All different walks of life come to one place with one purpose, and that purpose is to win, right? Different ideology, different people, different cultures from all different walks of life, different lands.
And this
international game now.
And this is on full display if and when you do watch like the World Baseball Classic, or you're starting to see in the NBA when they do the international players versus the American-born players.
Yeah.
It's beautiful when you see, hey, my team's got Japanese players, black players, white players, Latino players. It's
all differences.
It really is.
All differences aside, and it doesn't matter what name's on the back because they're all playing for the name that's on the front, right? All differences aside, when you're in between those lines, you got one goal, one common goal together, and that's to win. So nothing else matters once the buzzer hits, once the game starts.
You could have went with tip-off, first pitch, or kickoff. You went with buzzer hits.
Yeah, I went with the, yeah. You saw me.
I saw you.
You saw me scrambling, right?
How does a game start?
Tip-off. Oh! Once the game starts, all those things are out the window. Differences don't matter. One common goal is to win. And would you believe it that word on the streets is, as of today, that your boy Brandon Nimmo and Lindor, never saw eye to eye, and they got rid of Nimmo because of political differences. I'm not saying this hasn't existed before. I'm sure it has. But I've never really heard it like this before in sports. It infiltrated relationships where it never has before, and now it's infiltrating sports in a way that it really hasn't before. They couldn't put that aside. I'm assuming, and it's a pretty good assumption, it's what I read, and Nimmo was a Trump guy, Lindor was not. They couldn't put their political differences aside for the sole sake of winning in New York. That's just so lame to me, because that sort of defeats what sports is all about. Like, you're letting your political differences get in the way of winning here?
I listen, call me old-fashioned. I still believe in the idea of, hey, we could be friends if we have different political beliefs, but that is not a sentiment that is popular among younger people, because their mindset is, yo, if you disagree with me on these big issues, then I don't know how I could be your pal. It's a very different mindset.
You could say, well, that's the problem. You should care, and I get all that. And here's another example. You could say, well, that's the caveman knuckle-dragging mentality of our generation, right? Have you ever, Danny G, Iowa Sam, Spot, Lowenkron, I say this respectfully, Fox Sports Radio Nation, please, I say this respectfully, have you ever kicked someone out of the bedroom because they didn't line up with you politically?
Have you ever had a hot woman laying in your bedroom and said, wait a minute, before we do this,
hold on,
who do you support?
Yeah, because guess what? In today's world, and I've seen it firsthand.
Imagine in your ass-getting days in the 2000s, you're like, some girl's like unrobing in your bedroom, and you're like, hold on, before this proceeds, McCain or Obama?
Oh, what?
Like,
even worse, what if she asks you? Right?
Hold on.
Hold on. Trick question.
Check the clock.
Like, do you lie just to make it happen? What I'm noticing,
I don't vote.
Right, exactly.
I'm an independent.
What I'm noticing.
Oh no, then
now,
it becomes you don't vote.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you don't care about the process?
I'm neutral.
No, that neutral is even worse, because then you're, quote, wishy-washy.
Oh, no, I screwed this up.
Think about it. If you were a single guy in the 90s, 2000s, if you're an older school dude, 70s or 80s, did you ever one time, when you were in high school, even know, care, or think about the political thoughts of a girl you had a crush on?
No, never
Danny,
once.
when you were on your come-up, did you ever think of a girl who you asked out on a date?
If a high school girl asked me what my thoughts of the Gaza Strip were, I would be thinking, is that a steak? I wouldn't have known what she was talking about, because I was a teenage idiot. These kids
you would have thought
today,
the Gaza Strip was a style she had going on somewhere.
kids today,
oh my.
and you could say, well, then that's better for them because you should line up. I don't know about that. It's infiltrating relationships. How many young single people are out there because of all the differences? It's hard enough to find someone. Now you're adding another layer, and now it's infiltrating sports.
Well, the old adage of opposites attract, I think people have sort of poo-pooed that idea. And you know what?
Don't tell MC Scat Cat.
I'll let Paula Abdul not know. All right. Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. And for the great Dan Patrick, what's the date even? Oh, the 29th. Monday the 29th, as we get ready for the final week of the NFL season. Can you believe that we're there already? What's up, Cove? Hold on one second. Covino, you there, buddy boy? Okay. We're getting into everything that went down yesterday, week 17 of the NFL. I think we're looking at the feedback. Someone said, there's a reason why Aaron Rodgers is going to be on Sunday Night Football. One last opportunity for Chris Collinsworth to stroke Mr. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I love.
That's a good thought. All right, well, hey, we'll get Covino back up and running. But, hey, any other thoughts you have? Let's go to your phone calls. Let's start with Frank. Frank, you're on Covino and Rich in for the great DP. What's up, Frank?
Hey guys, I have a theory on the why they have the San Fran-Seattle game on Saturday this week. Could it be because Wild Card Weekend starts next Saturday, and knowing that both San Fran and Seattle are going to be playing next weekend, to at least give those teams 7 days rest?
You're saying one of the whoever loses, whatever team loses, Niners, Seahawks. You're saying that they've already mentally slated that is one of your Saturday wildcard games. So if the Niners drop this one, or someone's going to drop the game, so one of those teams is going to have to play as a wild card. The other gets a bye. So you're saying, might as well give them that 1 week off exactly into the postseason. That makes sense. I can see that.
Rich, you have Kyle Shanahan coaching your team. You only need 4 days rest.
I was going to say, my only thought that bothers me about this short week are two of the most important players on the Niners right now are a little hobbly, and that's George Kittle, who said he wanted to come back yesterday. He said it was a game-time decision, so likely Kittle's good to go in Week 18. And big Trent Williams, who I think Scott Van Pelt jinxed. Do you remember after that Indianapolis game? He's like, Trent, you're one of the best offensive linemen in NFL history, but you've been banged up over the years. This is your first season where you played every game. I'm like, shut the hell up, Van Pelt. And here we are. A week later, he's a little banged up, but hopefully he's back. What's up, Covino? Oh, all right. Let's go to your feedback at 877-99 on Fox. Wes in Idaho saying, yo, give me that Sunday Night Crew or the Olsen Crew over Brady. I don't know. What you thought? Brady was an observation I had. I thought Tom Brady over the weekend is proving that he's getting more and more entertaining in the booth. Not only more and more entertaining, but what was with the glove thing? He was harping. You know how like sometimes you get fixated on something? I think Tom Brady was fixated on how in those weather conditions, and who would know better than him? So you almost have to take his word more than anyone.
Yeah.
But
First of all, he looked like a Bond villain.
I can't go for the turtleneck look. I don't know anyone. I mean, I guess if you're a dude that's into like fashion and style, but Danny, how do you ever rock a turtleneck?
I think he could get away with it. I can't.
Turtleneck with sports coat is a look where I'm always like, turtleneck with sports coat, huh? You going with the turtleneck and sports coat. But Tom Brady proving that I think we were all very tough on him, and I get it. You know why we're tough on him? When you sign a contract and you see the numbers like, yo, Tom Brady's making hundreds of millions of dollars in a long-term deal to be a broadcaster, and he wasn't so sharp at the beginning. Very easy to say, no, he sucks. But I don't think he's that bad. I'll be honest. I still think Greg Olsen might be my favorite guy that's in the world of color commentating for Fox.
Dude, I think Tom Brady's doing everything we expected him to do. Get better at it. Noticeably better. I thought he was great. I think we're overly critical. It's just because it's Tom Brady. We're hanging on every word he says. We're just listening extra close. He's great.
You know what I would love to point out too?
So much better than he was when he started, for sure. And dude, as far as criticizing his turtleneck, I'm with you. It's noticeable because he's Tom Brady, but not everybody could pull it off because they're not Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's like we make fun of him, but Cam Newton pulls off those hats, you couldn't. I mean, like
that's the thing.
Yeah, some people can rock a style and some others can't.
So it's noticeable, but does it look bad? Are they superstars? Can they pull it off? That's the truth.
You know what's funny is that I guess if you got any retired star in any sport to do TV commentating, you start to see people's, I wouldn't say crutches, but their go-tos. Like Danny, if you started calling play-by-play or something, we'd be like, yo, you notice how Danny always does this? People love to talk about how Collinsworth will say, here's a guy that blank, Tom Brady.
You mean the way he slurps on Mahomes?
Yeah, Tom Brady pointed out last night.
Tirico was slurping on your boy Purdy.
Yeah, they even made a comment, though. They were like, yeah, look at Collinsworth beating the trolls on social media to it by at least admitting that he's, Brock Purdy does some good stuff, and he immediately compares him to Patrick Mahomes. But you look at it this way, the broadcasters that we knew as former players are all going to have little things we point out. Tom Brady's very excitable. You can see what a football fan he is because he gets excited for the big plays. Like, he's screaming in the booth.
And I have no issue with that, right? I think that's great. I think that's what you want from an announcer. I just think because it's Tom Brady and he was so criticized when he first got in there, we still hang on to it instead of just listening. You know what it's like, Rich? It's like when we as radio hosts, when our friends are listening, they're hanging on every word instead of just listening like you would to any other normal show.
Yeah.
You're not overly criticizing everything. Just listen and enjoy Tom Brady. So things that made you go, any observation you made. Speaking of Tom Brady, even more comparisons, Drake May to Tom Brady. 5 tutties, the most for the Pats since TB12. 13-3, AFC East clinch. Drake May, the man. I just think it's wild. People are saying there's a lot of fun, rumors, obviously, Rich, of how Tom Brady is an investor in, cloning, that cloning thing where he cloned his dog. You're like, dude, maybe Drake May is cloned, because it is pretty amazing to see the stats he's putting up.
They just needed the right coach and the right quarterback. And, it's the most underrated thing in all of sports. Think about every sport. Every sport, you got, what does it take to win? In baseball, you're like, well, you need an ace, and you need a couple guys that could hit 35 or more home runs. Like, basketball, you need the right, leader. Every sport, you like, what is the equation to possibly win? In the NFL, I think it's very simple. If you get a quarterback coach combo that gels together, and you're seeing it with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams within year one of them together. You're like, you get a coach and a quarterback that are like a little match made in heaven. That's all you really need. That, again, you fill in the blanks around them, but you'll compete. At minimum, you'll compete with that combo.
You know where you were reminded of that? I don't know if people watched this over the taint of the holidays, but the John Elway documentary on Netflix, which I highly recommend. You keep talking about Kyle Shanahan, but Elway credits Mike Shanahan for changing his life and changing his career.
It's true, though. Think about all the teams that you really believe in. What do they have in common, Danny? This is the most obvious statement I brought up, but the Rams. You got McVay and Stafford. Any good team. And my point was, you have a good young quarterback like Drake May and Vrabel, who came in there. And we forget that Mayo was the coach for a year. Remember that one year? And then it was just like, yeah, it's not working out. You were a former player. Everyone loved you, but let's Vrabel instead. Like, Vrabel and Drake May seem to have clicked. And you have Sean Payton and Bo Nix. You get a quarterback coach combo that get each other, that almost pick each other, right? I mean, like, you find each other. It's almost like a relationship, and like you run with it as long as you can.
There's a wild Drake May stat here. He's the first player with 5+ passing touchdowns and over a 90% completion percentage in a game since 1981.
Damn. And that Jet game could have got uglier. I was flipped. It's not a game I don't think anyone watched all 4 quarters of. It was disgusting, and there were better games on. But anytime you looked at a highlight or you had your multiple games up on the TV, you're like, yeah, this game is ugly and could have been worse. I almost felt like at one point the Patriots were like, yeah, they were like, yeah, we'll take out some starters, relax. Like, this game, they could have beat them 70 to 10 or whatever it was. It would have been disgusting. And then you wonder, is there any chance Aaron Glenn in the world gets another shot at this? Are they committed to him? Like, because you're going to start to hear, like, in a week from now, who's on the hot seat, right? Like, what coaches are the first to go? I'd be shocked to see if they stick with him. And speaking of documentaries, Covino, I'm looking at the feedback. Colin hit us up and said you brought up the Elway one, which I'm going to watch tonight, I think.
Oh, man.
I haven't watched it yet.
You're so reminded of what a winner he was, what he meant to Denver, how he put it on the map. You're reminded of the fact that this dude lost, common knowledge, but when you see how down he was, 3 Super Bowls, right, to come back with
AFC,
one.
when we were kids, dude, the AFC couldn't stack up. It was like, do you remember at one point it was like, all right, whoever wins the NFC, the Niners, the Cowboys, maybe the Giants or the Redskins, like, there was a powerhouse in the NFC of like 3 or 4 teams, and it was like, all right, who's going to beat the Broncos this year?
He wins the 2nd Super Bowl, then wins a 3rd as a GM. I think the only player to win as a player and GM. And then he's watching his highlights. I'm not giving it away. Let's just say it's emotional. The guy's gone through a roller coaster, but he's a winner. And he credits, like Rich said, the quarterback-coach combo is so significant. With Reeves couldn't do much, but with Shanahan, everything gelled. And a lot of times maybe we put it on the quarterback, but maybe behind the scenes, it really is the fact that they're just not gelling with the system, with the quarterback, and what's expected of them. Like Danny G, I wonder if that's what's happening with your boy Geno Smith. I mean, he's
Geno's
leading.
just not your answer.
No, I know he's not the answer.
But know what you got to do?
How do you fall off so hard? Like something's not clicking with the Raiders.
I think he just had a quick little rebirth and is never the same. And by the way, when I said the documentary, it's because Colin said, speaking of documentaries, not only the Elway one, did you see the first look we're getting at the, speaking of coaches, Nick Cage as John Madden? That's been floating around.
I'm glad he brought that up because I was thinking about that too. I have seen it. I watched the trailer.
Yeah.
And, dude, I got to tell you, man.
Do you still see Nick Cage or are you buying in?
Yeah, I see Nick Cage in a fat suit. Like, that's really it. And it really bothers me because I hear he does a great job.
Where? Why? I'm John Madden.
Boom. Boom. Tough acting, tenactin'. Where?
Boom.
Boom. Turducken booms. And all I see is Nick Cage's stupid face in a fat suit. And there's a lot of rumor and speculation on social media. It's like they should have went with Frank Caliendo, and they always thought John Candy would have been. Well, John Candy would have been, but he's
like
not
30
around.
years ago. Jeez.
Right.
He's.
But, I wish this movie well. I'm going to watch with an open mind, but I can't not see Nick Cage's face. But I am seeing it. And I'm hearing good things.
You know what? There are so many other observations, things we got to get to. Week 17 of the NFL and anything else that was going on in your life. What did you watch? Any good shows? Have you been killing time during the holiday season? We'll take all your feedback.
Well, I brought up Danny G's Raiders, too, because I want him to break down that Max Crosby drama because that was making me sick.
Oh, you mean how Max Crosby's on trampolines with his kids? Meanwhile, the Raiders like, yeah, he's out? Like,
right.
There's something there.
There's lots of observations we still have to make, and we want to include you next. 877-99 on Fox. We're Covino and Rich. We're live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. And for over 40 years, Tire Rack has been helping customers find the right tires for how, what, and where they drive. Shipped fast and free, backed by free road hazard protection with convenient installation options like mobile tire installation. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Something that I feel like I've always sort of felt a little bit, but after seeing his behavior over the last week.
Oh, boy. Here it comes.
Justin Herbert's just a big weenie.
Wow.
Justin Herbert, not a fan.
And Rich knows weenies.
Justin Herbert, I mean, he can make it right. I mean, my opinion, it can be easily changed. But I don't know. I just feel like he's done a few things where I'm like, you know what? The only thing cool about this dude is that he's hooking up at Madison Beer.
There's been 2 incidents in the past week where you scratch your noggin and say, hey, is Herbert sort of a, what'd you call him, a weenie?
Yeah.
Is he sort of a weenie? Is he a weenus? Is he the lead singer of Weenus? Or did we just catch him at a bad moment? Is he the type of guy that turns it on when the cameras are on, but off camera, he's really a weenie?
No, because on camera, he's a weenus.
You got to realize that we don't have any idea, not even close to any idea of what they deal with as far as fandom and kids and people wanting their attention and autographs. But they're no better than anyone else.
Don't give me that BS.
But that is true, dude. You don't know what it's like.
Do you know how to behave in public?
I do, but guess what I don't have? People bothering me all day long, every day, every time I step out in public. The Chargers win, and they kick it down to the field, and Laura Rutledge is trying to get his attention. Like, hey, we're going to you for an interview. And he's like, I'm just trying to celebrate with my team. And I totally understand that, and I get that. But as a quarterback in the league, you also have to understand that when someone of the major networks wants to interview you, you're the go-to guy. You're the quarterback. You're the spokesman for this moment. Like, you're on television, and they caught him in a really weird, like, big-time moment. That's moment number one.
Bro, the fans and the billion-dollar deals these networks have to air the games and perpetuate you as a star player. And I saw people fighting over this the other day, back and forth. I go, he doesn't owe anyone anything. Stupid ass interview. What is he going to say? But
I mean, it's part of the deal,
his
right?
apathy. I just feel like in these moments, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm so adamant and strong-minded on this opinion.
You're adamant.
Little
Goody two shoes.
Goody Two Shoes. Great song. I'm so adamant that all it takes is for an athlete to be a little endearing to the fans and reporters, and I feel like people notice. All he has to do is smile. I even notice when athletes address the reporter by name. He's like, "Hey, Laura." If he we'll call the right first name, and then at the end, he's like, if he was like, "Hey, Charger fan, thanks for coming out." That's what the Mets will miss with Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso would, at the end of all his little post games, would always, "Hey, fans, thanks for coming out. Let's effing go Mets. Thank you guys."
Just yesterday, another clip went viral, and I sort of saw it everywhere. And I think it's gone viral because it sort of continues that narrative of what we saw on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, and I wondered, and I told you guys this last night when we were talking about this clip, I wondered if it was people piling on because of what happened after Monday night's game.
Obviously, very clear footage of Justin Herbert sort of big time in a kid who wanted him to sign something.
By the way, such a cute little kid, and I felt so bad for his face.
Yeah, and the dad's like, he'll take his hat off because he's wearing the opposing team's hat. He's wearing an Eagles
hat and
He
jersey.
wanted a picture.
He wanted to wave. I'm sure he wanted a picture, but even if he waved at Justin Herbert, let's put it in perspective, man. I've seen a lot of people talk about this, and there's so many things I agree with. You don't have to be a fan of the Chargers as a kid especially, to want to get his attention and have the thrill. A little wave from Justin Herbert would have made that kid's, I don't want to say his life, but it would have made his whole year that Justin Herbert acknowledged him, even though he's an Eagles fan.
Well, let me give you an example of this. You guys know me now. We've done this show. You and I have been friends for decades, but we've been on Fox Sports Radio for years. You know that I'm a diehard Mets fan.
Mm-hmm.
The first player that ever gave me attention wasn't a Met. I went down on the field. I've told the story before. Not on the field. I went down, batting practice, was hanging by the opposing dugout, just, taking a look. You're a little 8-year-old, 9-year-old kid, peeking your head around. And San Diego Padre, Bip Roberts, took the time to say, "Hey, kid, what's your name?" Signed the baseball for me, gave me a little pat on the back, and I went back to my seat.
You're like, whoa.
Yo.
I remember having that dude's baseball card.
And I was like, Bip Roberts is the coolest.
Right.
So to me,
professional athletes hold an incredible power and almost duty to boost these kids. Kids idolize these athletes. We all did. So when he big times this little kid, even though he was an opposing fan, that rubbed me the wrong way. I think it rubs everybody the wrong way. And again, it was caught on camera.
All right. CNR on FSR. Covino and Rich in for the great Dan Patrick. Doing it live.
Happy holidays, by the way.
Yeah,
live
man.
from the Fox Sports Radio studio. After the show, the DP podcast and our stream goes up. So if you miss any of today's show, last week's show we filled in for DP. It's day 2 of the segmented Dan Patrick hat-trick. Be sure to listen to the podcast. Search Covino and Rich wherever you get your podcast. Follow, rate, and review. 5 stars because anything less is uncivilized. But you know the best place to go because you could watch what you hear anytime. Our YouTube page, Covino and Rich FSR, and we're streaming live. Covino and Rich FSR on YouTube. So the chat's popping too. We'll read some comments there. We'll give away some prizes today. But, Rich, in the middle of things that make you go,
Yeah.
There's a developing story that happened in Nigeria. And, at first I read it like in the Sun, and I'm like, I don't know if this is credible. And now it's in the New York Post. But Anthony Joshua, just 2 weeks after his big knockout of Jake Paul, was in a really bad car accident. So he's hospitalized, but there was 2 people that were killed in this accident. Really, really bad news. But if you read the headlines, Anthony Joshua injured in a car crash that kills 2 in Nigeria. He was a passenger. So I don't believe he was driving in it. I'm not saying that makes it any better or worse. I'm just saying that I'm getting a lot of feedback even on social media and people hitting me up. Yo, did you see what happened?
Oof.
I don't think he was driving. I don't think it's anything that makes it his fault. It's just an unfortunate story as of now as it develops, as I get the story here. But it looks like, and there's pictures of him, which, by the way, I can't help but notice that in the picture, he's there like in the car seat with no shirt on. Is he just rolling around, flexing?
I don't know. Hopefully.
But anyway, wish people involved the best, but 2 people are left dead in a tragic story. So that makes me say, sad story there to keep you posted on. But, Rich, I did want to backtrack a second before we get everybody involved. 877-99 on Fox. You know, I was sitting there scratching my noggin watching with my buddy Colton. Again, mixed company and family. It's the grundle of the holidays, the gooch of the holidays, the space between. And I'm thinking to myself, why aren't the Bills going for at least a tie here? Like, why the win in this situation? And then I dismiss it because I'm like, well, I guess ballsy move, props for them. Like,
he had his guy, as Josh Allen said. He had his guy. He can't. He's got to make that play.
He's got to make that play, but it's just the matter of the Eagles not scoring at all in the second half and having no momentum at all. Wouldn't you go for the tie and then like safely go for the win after that? Like, or again, am I missing something here? But it's definitely
end of the season.
Definitely made me go.
End of the season, wear and tear. They had momentum. Do you even want to push games to overtime nowadays? I thought the real story there, believe it or not, that this guy, I'm not saying he's off the hook, because he'll probably be replaced. Their backup place kicker missing that extra point to make it 13-6 instead of 13-7.
The weakest.
Something like that. Like, I'm not saying no one's talking about it because everyone's talking about Josh Allen missing that pass on the 2-point conversion. We wouldn't even have to have come to that had the place kicker got a little elevation on that previous extra point. We're talking about 13-7. They score that touchdown, extra point wins the game. No speculation of do they go for 2 or force overtime. You can't be missing extra points in clutch spots like that. That's horse manure.
By the way, Sean McDermott said after the game, wanted to be aggressive there going for the win. We feel like there's obviously only a certain amount of time left at that point, and we felt like we had a great call in place, a great opportunity to go win it. I want to be aggressive. I'm not going to sit back.
Again, I like that attitude. Like Rich said, a good pass, we'd be singing a different tune.
Think about it. Being aggressive as a coach. It's all results based, right? Like, think of how many times Dan Campbell was like the ballsiest guy and everyone loved him. Then when the Lions started going like 1 for 5 on 4th downs, it's like, what an idiot! Like, you know, you're either ballsy and awesome, and like, yo, that's my type of guy, man. Look at a ballsy coach going for it.
Yeah, but the Eagles seem to have nothing.
And what is every fan base?
Covino,
every fan base, when your team does go for it on 4th and short, every fan base loves it because no one really wants to punt, right? Remember when you played street football as a kid? Did anyone, when it was like kicking or sticking, did anyone kick?
No, you're always
sticking. When you played Tecmo Bowl or Madden.
This ain't street football.
Yeah, I'm saying when you were playing Tecmo Bowl or Madden when you were a kid, did you ever punt? You know, you were like you're like Morstead on the 49ers.
Madden? I played cage football, Nick Cage.
Whoa! Oh.
I think to Covino's point, Rich, you had the same amount of passing yards as Jalen Hurts did in the second half of that game.
I'm telling you, man.
Dude, he only had 110 yards the entire game, right? Yeah, they did nothing the second half. That's really what made me go in that situation. I'm like, all right, just play it safe, go for the extra point, and then just beat them because you clearly had the momentum at that point. Again, easier said here on a Monday morning in for DP. But yes, Josh Allen, man, no one madder than him.
Everyone's got a plan. Everyone's got a strategy or a game plan going into a fight, going into a game, going into anything. It's just a matter of if it's executed, right? Josh Allen makes that pass, the guy's wide open. Then all of a sudden it's like, wow, way to be aggressive. You saw Kyle Shanahan didn't call a timeout because he said the Bears looked discombobulated going into that, 4th and goal. First and goal from the 4-yard line with 4 seconds. He could have called the timeout. He didn't, and it worked out. Otherwise, it's like, why didn't he, right? So your feedback, all the things that made you go, week 17 of the NFL. We got more next. Covino Rich in for Dan Patrick.
It's Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. Are you ready?
Yes! We talk about pop culture, we talk about sports, we talk about life.
It's a friendship on the radio.
When you talk about the best athlete in the world, you're probably thinking Jim Thorpe, right?
I'm thinking Bo Jackson.
I'd have to throw myself at the age of 12 into the conversation.
You are the home run champion. When you find the commonality between sports and life, those analogies and conversations are the best.
You were dating some girl, and you were like,
Hey, babe, let's watch The Sixth Sense.
her mom walked in. Can you believe he was dead the whole time?
I wanted to get up.
Well, slow down, Dana White.
I don't want to say It's never boring.
If the Chiefs win,
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
Our friendship is real. It's authentic. You can't fake the fun.
We're the type of guys you'd want to hang out with at a sports bar. Best way to pick someone up at a bar?
Yeah.
Go up to a cute girl and say, oh, look at that bozo over there. And I point to you. We could make fun of each other, poke each other a little bit.
I call him Blubber Lips, Rich Davis, because he never stops talking.
He thinks he's the Mexican Fonz.
Yeah.
At any point, he's wearing a chain. You have a chain on?
Always.
Of course he has a chain on.
That's like asking me if I'm wearing cologne right now. Of course I am. I take a lot of pride in being inclusive and interactive on our show. Just the more the merrier.
Josh, Covino thinks that every man should own a leather jacket.
I only wear vegan leather.
Can you believe this guy?
I can't believe this guy. We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate y'all so. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
Mike Tyson, Covino, loves to just challenge us with random Mike Tyson trivia.
Which accomplished celebrity purchased my sprawling Connecticut estate?
I'm going to go 50 Cent.
You are absolutely correct, 50 Cent. I love his song.
You can't schedule a big event during a
can't.
big sports moment.
My family member scheduled their wedding the same night as a Julio Cesar Chavez fight. Everyone was glued to that fight instead of doing the electric slide.
This is weak.
Unbelievable. You're very tricky.
America, you got sports, you got fun, you got us.
Covino and Rich.
We're crushing it.
Brock Purdy threw for 3 touchdowns, rushing for 2 more as the 49ers beat the Bears in the Sunday night shootout 42-38, setting up a first-seed division showdown with the Seattle Seahawks on Saturday night. Ravens-Steelers are set the ultimate game of the NFL regular season on Sunday Night Football. Questions as to Lamar Jackson's status, whether he'll be ready to go. The Ravens quarterback did not play, and reports are that he is still dealing with a significant back contusion. Drake May led the charge as the Patriots claimed their first AFC East division crown since 2019. They beat the Jets 42-10, coupled with the Bills' loss 13-12 to the Eagles. This sealed the crown. Kawhi Leonard put up a eye-watering career-high 55 points plus 11 rebounds to boot as the Clippers cruise past the Detroit Pistons 112-99. Lakers take down the Kings 125-101. Keep it on Fox Sports Radio for all the latest sports news. I'm Chris Perfett.
DP.
Dan Patrick.
Welcome to the Dan Patrick Show.
We are the most unathletically decorated show in radio history, I think.
America's most revered sports talk show.
Respect the position that you have.
But today, Dan Patrick and the four Danettes are not here. So sitting in for Dan Patrick and hosting the Dan Patrick Show, here's Steve Covino and Rich Davis.
Hey, what's going on, buddies? Covino Rich in for DP.
Yeah. Vatos Locos. Happy holidays. Live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. Rich Davis, Danny G, Ramsey's back at the studio, Spotty Boy on the videos, Covino and Rich FSR. I'm here in Idaho. Rich, I actually have a really quick observation. It's cold here in Idaho. You can hear me on 99.9. But again, watch us right now on YouTube. See our faces for radio as the simulcast.
That's the affiliate. What is it? The Big Potato 99.9?
By the way, there is a big potato drop for New Year's. That's their celebration. Yeah, big potato drop. I'm not making that up. That's a true thing. YouTube.com/@Covino and Rich FSR. Covino and Rich FSR on YouTube. You can stream us live. You can see us, our tired faces.
And while you're on YouTube, look up Potato Drop 2012. Apparently it was a good one, right? That was the one where everyone threw chives. Everyone threw chives in the air.
Oh, yeah, it was incredible.
You better get our affiliates.
Shredded cheese.
You better get our affiliates correct, Rich. It's Fox Sports Boise 99.9.
Yeah, and we're big out here, Rich. Man, I can't go anywhere. People are asking for autographs.
Yeah. They call you the Big Spud, right?
Yeah. Oh, there he is, Big Spud Covino.
Yeah.
So why am I here? My girlfriend's family's from here. It's the holidays, and they asked us to fill in for DP. I'm like, hell yeah, absolutely. So I don't want to take off. I love being here with you guys. Again, we're normally on 5 to 7 on the East, 2 to 4 on the West. Everything at Covino and Rich. We even have a Patreon. We have a bonus show called Overpromised. Got a lot of things going on, but again, hope you had a great weekend. Rich, it's cold here, and that's an obvious observation, right? It's cold everywhere, most places, but it's really cold in Idaho. You know what I really know is the official uniform of dudes out here? Dudes watching football especially. You got to have a vest, man. You got to have a vest. Are you investing? Did you get a sweet vest for Christmas?
Your big holiday observation, dudes in vests?
No. It's like next level. It's the official uniform of men in Idaho, and I'm sure other places like and similar to Idaho. You got to have like a sweet hat on. The Idaho. You know how there's viral clips of alpha dads at games where they're walking around with their vests on?
Yeah.
Every dude out here, it's like it's a standard. I don't own one. I need one.
I was
waiting for one under the tree.
Are they wearing anything under the vest or just a vest? Are they like Stone Cold Steve Austin?
No. I'm not talking leather vest. I'm not talking a cowboy vest. I'm talking those puffy, Marty McFly vests.
He's talking Mike Vrabel.
Oh, yeah. Everyone looks like Mike Vrabel in Idaho.
They do with their Cabela's sort of gear on, but it's that vest. They got to show their guns, man. It's the official uniform.
That's funny.
Of the Idaho guy. So if I really want to fit in, Rich, which is kind of tough, I need one of those ASAP.
You're the only Mexican dude in Idaho right now, right? Is that true?
One of the brownest dudes. Yeah, one of.
So let's get back to our observations. Week 17 of the NFL. We talked about Josh Allen. It was the right move, McDermott. They go, you go for it, right? You got momentum. You feel like they had the right play. That's the thing, right? You had the right play.
The pass sort of tailed away. Yeah, it didn't execute.
We talked about the 49ers.
But you know what? Hold on. There was two plays that were kind of similar, like with your 49ers-Bears game. I feel like Caleb Williams, again, easier in retrospect. I say this respectfully, guys. In retrospect, Monday morning, we're speculating, things that made you go, we open it up to everybody, 877-99 on Fox. Danny G's waiting to hear from you. I feel like Caleb Williams did have an opportunity to run it in. He had an open lane. At least it looked that way to me. And I feel the same way with Josh Allen. I feel like, oh, man, he had a minute right there where he could have ran it. They had a second to make that choice.
Closes quick.
Absolutely closes quick, but I think they had a second in retrospect and didn't take it, and both games got away from him.
I think based on the primetime games going into Week 18 and your Saturday games, as a Niners fan, I don't like the fact that they get one less day to prepare. But if you're just a football fan, Saturday, Danny, you got the Bucs and the Panthers, winners in, losers out of that average, mediocre NFC South. But it's a game with with stakes, with magnitude. Winner in, loser out. And then the game after that, Saturday night, you have a Saturday night little party at your place, have some friends over. Niners, Seahawks, winner gets the number 1 seed, loser's a wild card. And then Sunday
party
night
at your place or what?
Yeah,
I'll
let's
be
do
around.
it. I'm in. And then
I'm in too.
Then you got Sunday. Aaron Rodgers. They put him in that last game of the season, primetime slot. And
this is what you wanted, Rich. Last week you were yelling and screaming that the Steelers ruined everything, remember?
They did, and now by losing, they made it a little exciting again. I think that we salvaged the excitement. There's 3 games with major significance. 1 game for seeding purposes. Do you think when you look ahead to week 18, I feel like we all watch the same amount of football. Like we're honed in. I'm watching every game every week. We're all so locked in. But even after 17 weeks, I still can't figure out one team in the NFL. There's one team where I'm like, I don't know if they're good, if they stink, if they're just the Chargers. What is with the Chargers?
I knew that's where you were going.
They're playing the Broncos in week 18. The Broncos are currently your 1 seed. Can the Chargers ruin the hopes and dreams of Bo Nix? And can the Chargers beat the Broncos week 18 and all of a sudden the Patriots are your number 1 seed? Like, how do you see that playing out, Covino?
No, I think like you said, it's who are they?
Who are you?
Consistent. Lose to the Texans.
But then again, the Texans could be the best team in the AFC right now, right? I mean, they've won, 8 in a row?
They could. Any team could play spoiler, but I think it is the Broncos' year as far as that's concerned.
This.
Look what the Browns did this weekend, man. I didn't think they were going to beat the Steelers the way they did. Props to them.
Cove, really quick, back to the Chargers. I saw this over the weekend. It says, this is why Jim Harbaugh deserves Coach of the Year consideration. 11-5 with an O-line that collapses every snap.
Yeah.
How in the world are the Chargers even 11-5 with the worst O-line in NFL history, this asks.
I'll tell you what, the AFC playoffs, when you look, it's set on who's going to be in, except for that mediocre Ravens, Steelers, Sunday night game winners in. But besides that, it looks pretty tight when you look at the standings now and you're like, yeah, this is going to be a sick playoff. Because you got New England, who has over-exceeded expectations, but Vrabel and Drake May, like we said, first hour, Covino, could be that new coaching quarterback combo that's like, ooh, right? Then you got the Bills, who looked like ass for 3.5 quarters of football, and then all of a sudden Josh Allen turns it on. They're unpredictable. Then you got Jacksonville and Houston. Jacksonville's won 7 in a row, and Houston's won 8 in a row. So you're like, the 2 hottest teams in the AFC are in the South.
Know what it felt like, Rich? It felt like all of a sudden the Bills were hulking up. Like they did nothing. And all of a sudden they started hulking up toward the end. You started feeling the momentum shift.
What you going to do, brother?
Yeah, you felt the vibe starting to change. And, yeah, they started playing eventually.
Yeah. And then, of course, Denver and the Chargers out west. I think the AFC playoffs are going to be so fun because I think
Denver has it, man. Yeah,
really?
We'll see. Yeah, but I think Denver has it. Something else that we wanted to touch on, things that made you go, we do this every Monday. Any speculation you made. And again, hope you had a nice weekend. A Browns, a Jags, an Eagles, a 49ers sort of weekend. Got to talk about the Giants Raiders, 2 weak-ass teams that are confusing me because there's this drama going around the Raiders and Max Crosby and all this drama that Danny G's going to clear up for us. I hear them chirping at each other. But then the Giants, too, and all the feedback and the sentiment of, man, even when they win, they lose. It's like, and it's pretty obvious. We're talking first-round draft picks here, but how do you expect professional athletes when their reputations, their personal reputations are on the line, and they're playing for their own money and their own stats and their own redemption, how do you expect them to play light and play easy and just lose? That just is always weird for me in the NFL.
No one play. I'll tell you this. Not one player on the NFL field is playing lesser or lighter or anything. The only way a team could really indicate that they're not in it to win it is if they sit key personnel or they're just, I don't know, running the ball, running the ball without success. But the teams are trying. When people say, they should just lose the next couple games, get that first pick. No one is trying to lose because every guy, all 53 guys, are trying to find their way back to a team. If not that team, another team the following year. So everyone's reputation's on the line. No one's losing on purpose, but it is pretty wild to think that the Giants, for a couple years in a row now, have won a meaningless game that looks as though it took away the number one pick.
It gets in their way. We get it.
But what are they?
You lose. Maybe you draft a QB, Fernando Mendoza, perhaps. You trade him because you already have your guy. But what do you expect them to do? What do you expect them to lose? It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. They're not playing to lose. Players don't do that. They're playing for themselves. These pros ain't loyal. They're not going to lose for their team. They're playing for themselves and for their pride, and it's
but
what
also,
they know. They're the most competitive people on the planet. That's why they're in the NFL.
Even if you're a franchise guy, like Danny, your boy Max Crosby, who's jumping on trampolines with his kids, but he's not playing. I know he's frustrated. He wants to play. He's like, I'm not injured. The Raiders are saying he's injured. There's all this weird speculation. Any more insight, by the way, since you are Mr. Raider?
Well, he's not saying that he's not injured. He just doesn't think he's injured to the point where he should have missed the final 2 games of the year. And if surgery is needed, which they're saying it is, he wanted to do that during the offseason. But what happened is last week, Brock Bowers, another Pro Bowler for the Raiders, of course, he was shut down and put on IR. Raiders are like, we want to make sure you don't get hurt any further
so
in 2
that's
meaningless
as close,
games.
That's as close,
is blatant, bro.
But that's as close as you could get to tanking for sure. Legally.
I'm not sure we've ever seen something this blatant before where you're really playing to lose. It's so obvious.
I mean, Bowers and Crosby are the 2 Raiders.
Well, and then the media talked to Crosby about that in tanking, and you know what he said. He said, F that, or he used the S word. He said, I'm not with that. I want to play. It's not my job to worry about draft picks. But it is a little bit hypocritical because rewind back to when Antonio Pierce was the interim head coach. Max Crosby got in front of the microphones and said, this guy better get the permanent job or else. So when it's convenient for Crosby, he's upper management. But when it's not, he's not. So a little bit of back and forth, but obviously you respect the guy. He's a warrior. He's one of the league's most fierce competitors. That's why he got mad when Vegas sent him home Friday. They said their medical team said, yeah, that knee, we don't want you to play on it in 2 meaningless games. We're killing the rest of your season. He was really upset with that. He went home, and you see the videos he's put on
it's not
Instagram.
a good look.
He's playing basketball. He's on a trampoline with his kids. He's doing things, subtly showing the world that, yeah, I'm banged up, but
you say subtly, it's pretty blatant. It's
I guess
him
you're right.
calling out it's him calling out the organization, saying they're full of it, they're tanking. It's so obvious. I'm not as hurt as they're making it out to be, and I don't think we've ever seen it so deliberate and so blatant in this way before.
I mean, today, if he posts pictures of him at like Sky Zone, jumping into like ball pits and stuff, I'd be like, what are we doing?
But now
it's weird to see.
With an 80% chance, if they lose to the Chiefs, to get that number 1 draft pick, and if they take Fernando Mendoza and he turns out to be a legit franchise quarterback, Max Crosby will look back at this and be like, that sucked at the time. I was frustrated, but man, was that worth it? Because all the jokes are, the Raiders can't even lose the right way. They can't even lose right. And they finally did tank the right way. So as much as I don't like that as a fan.
Blatantly, though.
Yeah, because you guys asked me when they were like 2-7 during the season, you guys asked, do you want them to just lose out? And I said, hell no. You go into every game wanting to win. But then when you get to 2-13, it's like,
now you might as well, yeah.
What are we playing for right now?
2 more losses, you get a pick. And, here's my question for you, because you could say the same about the Giants. They got their quarterback, in my mind. I know there was speculation that if the Giants got the first pick, there's some that said, you move on, go get Mendoza, trade Dart. And I was like, damn.
No, it seems all
our
the
very
fans
own
are
Colin
behind.
Cowherd said that.
Yeah, Colin said
Really?
it. Yeah,
Wow.
people were saying, like, get Mendoza, trade Dart, or get rid of Dart. And I'm like, damn. So my question is,
I don't feel that Giants fans feel that way at all.
I mean,
I get the move there, but I think they're pretty sold on their guy.
they are 3-13. Covino. It's not like Jackson Dart's exciting.
Scatterboo, and they're playing without that whole team is backed up.
Covino is spot on with that. The complaining, I won't say crime, but the complaining I saw from Giants fans after that loss yesterday was, we just lost the chance to get a huge haul from another team for that number 1 draft pick. Correct.
Yeah, for the pick and then trade Mendoza. The thought was never to keep him.
Get a couple of number one picks for a team to move up to that number one spot.
Someone, you want Mendoza bad enough? Give us your first rounder for the next 3 years plus a mid rounder. Here's my question: who is? Because this is a one to put the thinking cap on for, which is what, Covino? Your Yankee fedora? Is that your thinking cap?
My Yankee no, it's Yankee pork. What's it called? Spot a pork pie hat.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Like
that's
a paperboy hat. So, what coach is going to be the guy? Because if Danny G, if you're saying, all right, Raiders out, they'll get Mendoza, you stick with Pete Carroll? Or is there some young offensive hotshot that in the college world, in the NFL world, new guy looking for a job? Because I feel like defensive coaches are no longer the hot ticket. They were for a minute. I think now you're seeing, when you see McVay and Kyle Shanahan and, offensive Ben Johnson, offensive-minded coaches seem to be hot right now. So who's that next offensive-minded hot coach?
You cater to your quarterback in this situation.
And if you get some young, fiery guy like Mendoza, who is such a personable young baby-faced kid.
Who does he gel with is the question.
Yeah,
who does he? I'm not saying he makes the call, but you want someone that he feels comfortable with. You're there to kiss his ass and make sure he's with the right guy.
Oh, what young quarterback recently said they want a say? They want to be in the meetings for the next coach. It wasn't Dart, was it? Let me look that up while we say what's up to Big Sarge.
You know where you see this again? I highly recommend it. You'll watch it later. You're going to come back talking about it tomorrow. Elway.
There
was a choice that it was Dan Reeves. It was Elway, and they stuck with their guy. They stuck with John Elway. You gotta stick with your guy and then coach around him. And right now, if the Raiders get Mendoza, you pick around him. You play around him. You coach around him. He's their guy. So if and when that happens. But there is controversy in that weak-ass game. The Giants win 34-10. There's a lot of people saying, dude, but you can't expect them to be as blatantly awful as the Raiders were, who, again, are being criticized for being so in-your-face and blatant and deliberate about tanking.
I found who it was. This is as of this week. Tennessee Titans quarterback and number one pick a year ago, Cam Ward, has publicly stated he wants to be involved in discussions for any head coaching candidacy moving forward. He wants to be part of the process.
Hey, dude, honestly, it makes sense. I mean, you started off the show saying how important that relationship is. The quarterback-coach combo. That's the key to success, and it's been for years.
I mean, the 49ers...
I'm not saying they should have the final say, but it should be someone that the quarterback that you're investing in is willing to work with, and that they enjoy working with.
Every sports TV show and podcast or radio show, including us this morning, has talked about the 49ers. And do they really have what it takes, even with the injuries, to make a real run in the NFC, especially if they win this week and they're the 1 seed? And the answer is their defense has so many holes. But Kyle Shanahan is coaching offensively out of his mind right now. As Brock Purdy keeps calling it, Kyle's bag of tricks. That's what all these young quarterbacks need. They need their Kyle Shanahan. So who's that next guy for the Raiders? Who's that guy for the Giants? Who's that guy for Tennessee? Who are these hot young coaches that are going to step in? Because I think everyone's looking for who's their Ben Johnson to take a Caleb Williams and all of a sudden make them a 11-12 win team.
I'm glad you brought up Ben Johnson's name because he had ties to Brady last offseason. Remember? That was a storyline, and he went with Chicago. But SI's headline this morning is Tom Brady, you're on the clock. With the Raiders likely securing the number one pick in the draft, the team's famous minority owner will be the one who's the top story of the offseason when it comes to the Raiders coach and new quarterback.
Well, wasn't the story last week that Brady is going to be more hands-on, more involved in that stuff? So,
well, you know what? Here's an interesting one. I'm not saying I don't think he gets an opportunity right away, but what about with the right system? Mike McDaniel, he really turned things around in Miami, and I don't know if Tua was his detriment because I feel like him and Tua are not clicking. When you talk about quarterback-coach combos, they're just not – maybe he's just not right for McDaniel. It's got to be some guy that's from that, maybe that Kyle Shanahan, McVay coaching tree or someone totally brand new all around. But yeah, you need someone.
Or an up-and-coming DC like Jesse Minter of the Chargers. His name has been tossed around.
Man, interesting interesting stuff we're going to deal with in a few weeks when some of these coaches are let go. All right, Big Sarge in South Carolina is a Seahawks fan. What's up, Big Sarge? I wish you luck this Saturday. What's up, man?
What's up, buddy?
Sarge in 12th man, South Carolina. Can you hear me?
What's up, man?
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
Hey, you know what? My hat is off to all 12s worldwide because not only are we in Seattle or just in the United States, we are worldwide. And yesterday, we proved it when we beat the Panthers and all that. 12th man showed up and showed out.
Yep.
You didn't believe it, man. You missed a great game.
Well, let me tell you, one thing you and I could – I'm a Niners fan, you're a Seahawks fan. So one thing I think we could agree upon is that this game should not be Saturday. Perhaps Sunday night, last game of the year for the number one seed. Do you think there's a reason why this game is on Saturday?
I have no idea.
I mean – It seems like it's the game of the week, and it's on Saturday. But
the caller earlier last hour said maybe it was to space it out for
wild card implications. But yeah, could very well be. But I think you when you talk about
Unless
Seattle,
Rodgers is just such a ratings machine.
I think Seattle.
It might be that. It might be that too.
Personnel wise, 53-man roster. I think Seattle's got a better team, but I think the 49ers have a better coach. And I'm not saying Seattle's not well coached, but I think the way Kyle Shanahan's coaching right now, I mean, I'll be the first person to say I was wrong if this goes down, but
and they move the ball downfield so easy, bro. They make it look easy.
Can you see anyone at this point holding the 49ers to like 17 points or something? I feel like if you're Seattle, who has a good defense, I feel like if you're Seattle, you just got to somehow figure a way to disrupt what Kyle Shanahan's doing. Because over the last month and a half,
figure out a way to stop Christian McCaffrey too, man. Just the way he's playing, I think is. I mean, we talk about it, but it's still underrated.
You know, it's
an undeniable force for your team, bro.
You know, what's interesting is that we forget that it was week 1 of the NFL when the 49ers and Seahawks played. So talk about bookending the season. So. You're saying, oh, the game of the year this Saturday night, Niners, Seahawks for the number 1 seed, a bye, a chance to get healthy, the 49ers have a chance to never have to pack a bag until next season. If they win on Saturday night, the playoffs and potentially the Super Bowl are all in San Francisco. The 49ers could just hang out with their families for the next month. Week 1 was when they played. And if you remember, that was a game where the 49ers won 17-13, and the guy that was filling in for George Kittle, Tongas, the tight end, remember he caught a ball in the end zone that he should very well not have caught, and that was the difference. They won 17-13. So that was what felt like an eternity ago, week 1 of the NFL. So we'll wrap it all up this week, and all your feedback, your phone calls, on week 18, on week 17 going into 18. We'll do that. Talk a little NBA, give away some prizes, all next. In for Dan Patrick, it's Covino and Rich. Signed to the Bills practice squad, correct?
Michael Badgley, yeah.
Yes. Could be activated because Matt Prater was injured. So they've had some injuries at the kicking spot this year. So Badgley donning number 32, according to the Bills release.
Number 32 on the Bills.
Interessante.
Who's number 32 on the Bills? Danny G, a guy that we saw before he passed away on a Southwest flight.
With a huge head.
Giant noggin.
What's up, Juice? O.J. Simpson. Would you wear O.J. Simpson's uniform number if you were on the Buffalo Bills? Number 32. Is there some type of bad karma or bad feelings?
It
there?
was not worn by anyone from 1977, O.J.'s last year, until 2019. Only 2 players have worn it since. So 1 player in 2019, 1 player in 2024. Not extensive use. Just assigned to players, but now Badgley could be bringing it out.
Well,
yeah,
I'd imagine.
What are the karma rules here?
Before the alleged crime, well, he was sort of convicted of some stuff. But before OJ did all the doing, it was probably held because of retirement number purposes, and he was a legend. And then alleged murders happen, and then that sort of gets taken off the shelf. Now time has passed where some young kids probably like, yeah, number 32.
So, like, the Cowboys don't retire numbers, but number 88 is a cherished number if you're a wide receiver with the Cowboys. Like, so that's one of the ways that they can do it. Hey, if you're that next wide receiver, Michael Irvin, Des Bryant, now CeeDee Lamb.
Syracuse does that with 44.
Yeah,
Jim Brown.
sure.
I think if you're a Bills player, you skip that number, just like elevators skip the number 13. Like,
I agree.
Skip
32.
Like how In-N-Out is skipping 6-7, order number 6-7.
I'm sure they gave him a bunch of different options, and I think Badgley's probably wanted to be like, yeah, give me 32. Yeah. But that to me is messing with karma.
Yeah, there's certain things you avoid. Like,
but it's not the same way. It's not the same way. Like you said, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Irvin, like 88's a legendary number in Dallas. What is it? 32 of you have murdering tendencies?
Yeah,
like that's
it's a tainted number. That's why I think you stay away from it. What are the karma rules here? It's like, would you buy a home if someone was murdered there? Because it's a great deal. And you're like, yeah, but wouldn't you feel weird about that?
I even feel weird about
Sure. I think that happens all the time.
I mean, it does happen all the time, but
rest in peace, Rob Reiner. That house is going to be sold to some other rich person that's going to have to accept the fact that Rob Reiner's, him and his wife were murdered there.
Look, I feel weird when people die in a house and I don't know about it.
Yeah. Do you know Covino's neighbor said to him? Get this.
Dude, I was in the elevator with some bobo, some bonehead, and he goes, "Hey, what's going on, neighbor?" I'm like, "Hey," and he goes, "Yeah, I used to be pretty friendly with the guy that lived at your place a few years back," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Is he a good guy?" He's like, "Yeah." Sort of tragic how he died on the patio. I was like, dude, you had to tell me that?
They didn't tell you that when you bought it?
No.
Don't they have to disclose that?
Now every time I see my dog barking out into the nothing, I'm like, what are you barking at?
I thought there was a law or a rule that if someone dies in the dwelling and you sell it, you have to disclose that.
I thought that too. And I think that is a rule. I did not know, or law or whatever.
Yeah.
I did not.
You didn't ask.
I didn't know this information. It wasn't disclosed. It wasn't like a tragedy.
The patio is the gray area.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, maybe. Right? And the guy saw
outside.
my reaction. He actually came to apologize to me later on. I was like, yeah, really sorry. I'm like, why would you even tell me that? Like, this is small talk, elevator talk, and you had to tell me that?
Now you need like an hour to break this down.
Yeah, I'm like, geez, that's information I wish I didn't know.
You're talking about death and murder?
But again, that was just a death to my knowledge. Murder.
I would feel morally,
foreclosure.
I was going to say I would feel morally weird. I see people
weird.
I would feel people karma-wise. People buy houses and cars and stuff that are repoed or foreclosed on. I almost feel like that's sort of like I don't know. Like
you're capitalizing off of someone's misfortune.
Like someone's dream and misfortune went away. So I'm going to scoop up their house. Like I even think that feels a little weird to me.
So would you wear the 32 because it's available? That's synonymous with OJ and the Bills. Hey, it's Covino and Rich in for Dan Patrick. And if you like us even a little bit, join our regular show Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 on the East, 2 to 4 on the West. And our bonus podcast, Overpromised. We have guests. We have a lot of fun on Overpromised. You can catch the whole show, Covino and Rich FSR, on YouTube. Again, live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. The hottest rookies, biggest superstars, and all-time greats. The only place to collect them all is Panini Trading Cards, the official trading cards of the Dan Patrick Show. For instant classics, autograph cards, memorabilia cards, rare inserts, and more. Start or continue your collection now at PaniniAmerica.net. Panini and some holiday panettone. Oh! Hey, happy holidays.
And stuff in your face?
The taint of the holidays. Yeah, oh my God. You can see our puffy faces right now, our bloated faces. Again, Covino and Rich FSR. And join the live chat. You should call out some names too, Rich. Join the live chat because Danny G's going to be giving away some prizes. If you're with us live, Covino and Rich FSR. The number is 877-99 on Fox. And we're wrapping up Week 17, things that made you go, We'll also get you ready for tonight's game. But a few more observations, Rich. Snoop Dogg. This has nothing to do with the NFL, even though he did that halftime thing.
I mean, it doesn't. What I have Snoop Dogg. I think the Snoop Dogg halftime show is very noteworthy.
The Snoop Dogg observation that stood out to me was the viral clip of him catching the kickoff at his own bowl game. He's being interviewed. Again, it's the 2025 Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl presented by Gin and Juice. He's being interviewed, and the kickoff is going like right in his direction. Look, if you didn't see it, take a listen.
Back. The ultimate give back. Oh, this is me. Watch out. This is me.
Oh! And he came out of his shoe. It's going down here in the doghouse. West Rider Snoop Dogg.
My bad.
You came out of your shoe right there.
Come on, man. I'm just doing it all today, baby.
All right.
I was in the middle of an interview, but the ball, it had to get caught.
So every dollar from this game going to charity.
So he flies out of his Sketcher to make this catch, and I think the timing, everything about this was pretty awesome. Made me say, because think about the wherewithal you have to have. Like in that moment, being interviewed, you're in your own end zone. It says Snoop Dogg in the end zone, your own bowl game, and the ball's coming your way, and you have the wherewithal to stop mid-interview to catch it. Like, yo, dude, and by the way, that's not that easy to do. And I know Snoop Dogg has some skills, and he's a football coach and all that, but that's not that easy to do, especially with all that pressure, and he falls out of his shoe. I thought that was pretty awesome.
I think Snoop Dogg is a pretty athletic guy. You said he's very involved in the football coaching world. I think he
had to catch it to make it a moment. He almost dropped it, but he got it.
You know, I will say another observation. The NFL really stepping it up with holiday halftime shows. And I'm not saying it's diluting the Super Bowl, but we've seen 3 now that I've been impressed with. It wasn't the best, but I thought Post Malone at Thanksgiving was solid.
Yeah.
Eminem and Jack White, that was fantastic.
That was sick.
That was dope, especially for Detroit and what they mean to Detroit. That was perfect.
If you missed it, it's streaming on Netflix because it lives there now. The 8 to 12-minute halftime show has been isolated and is just living on Netflix now. Snoop Dogg performs like, what would you say? Like
a medley.
Like a medley, but almost like a holiday-ish medley of his songs. Lainey Wilson, the country star, comes out. The K-pop Demon Hunters, Andrea Bocelli. Like, there was a meme going around. It's like, what is going on here? It's a Bocelli and Snoop Dogg. Like, I thought it was fantastic. Martha Stewart introduced them.
Christmas on Kush.
Bro, I was watching that, and I said to my wife that Bad Bunny's going to bring it at the Super Bowl. But this year, there's been an emphasis that Super Bowl is not the only game in town because these games on Christmas and Thanksgiving, they get like 50 million viewers. So it's almost like Super Bowl light now. I think you're done of the days of throwaway halftime shows because if the NFL is going to try to own Thanksgiving and Christmas, I think you're going to see like secondary to the Super Bowl type halftime shows.
And it's a win-win for everybody. You know, the viewers.
I mean, who didn't like that? I was watching with friends and family, and I was like, yo, look, Snoop Dogg. How cool. It was fun.
Very cool. And who rebranded themselves harder and better than Snoop Dogg? I mean, the dude was a gangster rapper in the 90s. Like, that's the truth. And, you know, you can question how hard he was or what his role was or whatever, but, I mean, that's who he was. Murder was the case that they gave him.
And now he hangs with Martha Stewart.
And now he's, everybody loves him, and he's with Martha Stewart, like you said. Props to him.
Yeah.
He's making a difference in the community. He's coaching kids. Like, it's unbelievable to see this
Covino
guy.
wears his Skechers.
I wear his Skechers. Like, his evolution is just insane.
Let's say hi to one of our buds in Vegas. Trip. Happy holidays, buddy. What's up?
What up, Trip?
Hey, thank you, gentlemen. It's great to hear y'all for 3 hours. I wish y'all were on for 3 hours every day.
Thanks, man.
Hey, I was going to say about the Raiders, they're not tanking. They're just stanking. When you're over-penalized, they run this crazy 10-yard off coverage. You and I could complete passes to each other. They're out of position. They can't tackle. But we do have the second highest cap space, like $100 million. So we'll find out how good Brady is and who wants to come play for us.
I'll be honest. I wonder if Tom Brady could hypnotize. And remember they used the word on True Blood on HBO?
Yeah.
The vampire show that was popular?
Yeah, it was great.
The vampires would glamour people. I wonder if Tom Brady has the ability to glamour young players. Like, listen, young player, I'm handsome, amazing.
Without a doubt.
Like,
he has the blueprint. Like, who's not enamored? I think that's the real word you're looking for. Who's not enamored by Tom Brady?
Danny, if you're some young free agent or, possible kid at a combine and you see Tom Brady, and let's say Tom Brady shows up with like all his Super Bowl rings and he's all handsome and he's Tom Brady.
And his turtleneck.
And he's like, we're building something in Las Vegas. Trust me, I'm Tom Brady.
Well, this has already happened. Last segment we talked about Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson himself said the only reason he even went and spoke with them was because of Brady.
Ended up in Chicago, and it's working out for him with Caleb, but Ben Johnson only took an interview with the Raiders because of Tom Brady. So you got to assume that free agents, coaches, kids at the combine are going to gravitate perhaps because the Raiders are one of those teams where their fan base is ridiculous. They have great fans. They're a great team in the NFL. Like, you sort of want the Raiders to be good.
They have great expectations. They have great uniforms.
I mean, we all
and they have Tom Brady.
And they had a great starter jacket in the 90s.
They had the best starter jacket.
I mean, Jim Plunkett was the last time they had glory. I mean, the Raiders, to me, are...
Also, don't forget the multi-billion-dollar facilities and stadium they have in place. They didn't used to have that. They used to bring people to Alameda County. No knock on, half my family lives there. No knock on the old establishment there, but I walked through the facilities there, and our studios here are more fancy than the old Raider facility. And could you imagine, though, they said there were high schools in the country that had better gyms, better workout situations than the Raiders when they were in Oakland. And they used to bring the top free agents into that building, and the free agents would look around like, really? Like, you've got to pay me a lot of money to come here.
I heard they told Max Crosby to go work out at Planet Fitness. Is that true?
Back in Oakland?
So let me ask you.
Yeah, all things are in place, Rich, for the Raiders. And if you get Fernando Mendoza and what he means to the Latino community, too, and lots of Hispanic fans with the Raiders, man, they could be popping for sure.
If they get it right, it's like the Raiders, there's certain teams that stink. And you're like, it's okay that they stink. The Raiders stinking for this long is just not like... The Raiders being competitive is good for the NFL. Like, as much as I don't like the Yankees, when the Yankees are not good, it sort of stinks for baseball. Like, the Yankees, like, loving them or hating them is part of baseball. Like, when they have like a down year, it's like, that's no fun. Because you want to love or hate teams like that. And the Raiders, it's like the Cowboys. I think when the Cowboys stink, it's bad for football because you want to see the Cowboys win and then lose in a key spot. I think the Raiders... If the Raiders in Las Vegas with Tom Brady and the Davis family, if they had a coach quarterback combo and actually were competitive, they'd be like prime time. Who wouldn't want to watch the Raiders?
Couldn't agree more, Rich. And not to cut you off on the Raiders, but there's one thing we didn't bring up, things that made you go, to wrap up Week 17 in our observations from this weekend. We never mentioned Old Man Rivers going 0-3 on his comeback.
Yeah, you know what?
And, again, he played a decent game, 17 for 30, 147 yards. Another crucial interception at the end of the game, one touchdown. He battled, but the Jaguars look good, 23-17. What are your thoughts on Rivers coming back? He says he has no regrets. I thought he played solid, dude. I feel the same way. I wish he would have got one. He was in every game he played, and looking back, people will be like, oh, yeah, when he came back and lost 3 games. It's like, yeah, but he was really competitive in all 3 games.
There is not one person, I guarantee this, there's not one backup or off waivers, off of a practice squad player that could have came in there and been more effective than Phillip Rivers.
Agreed.
And I say that because you look at who they played. If you told some 44-year-old quarterback to come in and say, hey, listen, man, we need some wins down the stretch. We're playing the Falcons, the Jets, and the Cardinals, or the Titans. That's one thing. He was told, hey, we're throwing you in. You and Shane Steichen are boys. You know the system. But listen, I know this might sound crazy, but you have to go to Seattle and play the best team in the NFC. Then come home to play the 49ers, who are unstoppable on offense right now. So you're going to have to keep up with Kyle Shanahan on the other side of the ball. And then, go play a team that's won 7 in a row, and Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen are clicking for the last 2 months.
And dude, and make it
Who's
close.
gonna win?
And dude, he was in every game, could have won every game, and just fell short. And I just hope people remember that, years from now.
I think,
and I don't know if that says something about the league today, or just says something about how he still had some juice and how competitive this dude is. I think that, even though he fell short 3 games in a row, he looked really great out there, man. I give him all the props in the world, and I want everyone to know that. I think we need to remember that he didn't tarnish any legacy. If anything, it showed you that the competitive spirit never dies, and he still had enough game to look really good out there.
Who you play matters, and I think Phillip Rivers should be proud of himself. I think the fans should love the story. I think there's nothing to be ashamed of. It's like I've said this to you guys in the past. It never makes sense to me. I guess it's happened. You ever see some young pitcher make his debut against like the Dodgers, and you're like, why didn't they save his debut against, I don't know, like the Marlins or something?
Let him build some confidence.
Yeah, like to me, it's like, yeah, kid, you're gonna get your first start in the NFL at Dodger Stadium. Like, I'm sorry, your first start in Major League Baseball, Dodger Stadium. What are we doing? Like, to me, you pull out your ace in the minors against a weak-ass team. And, you don't have that luxury in the NFL. You play 17 games over 18 weeks, and they needed a QB. Seahawks, Niners, Jags? Listen to Phillip Rivers talking after the game. The guy's just fun, and I'm glad he tried this year.
Yeah, except for the losses, he has nothing. We got to make that very, very clear. And even for the youngsters who, aren't really aware, and they just see what the story says, that he came back and lost 3 games in a row. No, he was competitive in all 3 games, has nothing to be ashamed of, and major, major props to him. It was fun to see. It was a fun storyline. I wish he would have got one of those games at least, but hey, great for him. It was a great story.
Listen, we have more Covino Rich, more CNR, more NFL. We'll touch on some basketball. Someone turns 41 tomorrow, and they look like they're playing like they're 31. We'll talk a little NBA, and of course more NFL. Where we're in the heat right now. Going into week 18 this week. More Covino Rich in for Dan Patrick next.
There's 2 other superstars in football and basketball that are toying around with the retirement idea. Let's talk football first, because Stephen A. went on this rant today saying, I think Kelsey's going to retire after this season. No big stretch, because I believe it too. I was surprised he came back this season. Okay. And now they're what? 6-7, and they're out of it. What more to play for? The guy's done it all. You think he's going to come back for like the rebuilding of a Chiefs organization? The guy's on his way out. No one wants to be a detriment to their team either. And I'm not saying he is, but if they're going to look younger and build, and Mahomes needs some good receivers, young receivers, I don't know if Kelsey's in the mix. His priorities are different.
Okay.
He already has a career in broadcasting. He has a bride to be. You know, the future's bright for him elsewhere.
Hit me with option number 2.
So Kelsey, again, Stephen A. talking about it today, and it's gone viral. Then the other one is LeBron, but hear me out, because people are saying he's got like one more year left. LeBron, it's season 23. That's his magic number, right? 23rd season. Let's say, and I would never wish this upon anybody, but I think teams like OKC would be in their way, right?
Do you mean the 23-1 OKC?
But let's say, and I would never wish this, Rich. I would never, ever wish this, but this is sports. Let's say someone on OKC gets hurt. Not wishing it on anybody. I'm knocking wood, in fact, right?
Yeah.
That opens up the lane even more for a Lakers team who's hot. They're playing good. They got young, they got veterans, they got old, they got everything.
Can't disagree.
Right? Let's say the Lakers win, and it's his 23rd season, magic number, last win, last hurrah. You don't think he retires? My question is, who's more likely to retire, a la Cejudo style, after this season, Kelsey or LeBron, if they win?
I have an obvious
I think LeBron's going to still play one more year.
I think the answer is obvious.
Kelsey?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What? I thought for sure you would say.
And I'll explain.
Maybe it's not as obvious as I. Maybe we don't need that wrench of Lakers winning then.
I think LeBron's proven it all.
Okay.
And if there's no path to a championship, and there's teams that are in his way, like you said, the Lakers are a top, I would say 3 to 5 team in the NBA. The Lakers look good. It's fun to watch the Lakers.
Dude, Reeves putting up crazy numbers. They're comparing him to stat-wise to Kobe Bryant now.
I'm just saying they're
using the word superstar to describe Austin Reeves.
Exactly. Now. They've already sort of moved past LeBron being the centerpiece. That's Luka now.
Yeah. But a major piece still.
You know, Austin Reeves, and they may go after another big star if LeBron were to walk away. I think Travis Kelce, I'll look at it this way. You know when you have a lot in the future? I know recently you were like, in your mind, you're like, dude, I got my daughter's Sweet 16, then I got this. And when you have all these things on the horizon, right, you try to cram things in, and you don't. My point is this. He's getting married June 13th. They made the announcement, him and Taylor Swift, June 13th.
He's got a top 25 podcast making millions.
13, her little lucky number symbolic. So they're getting married. And then I bet you within a year, because, they're at the age, they have every resource possible, they're going to have a kid. And I bet you that he runs it back one more time. After the career he's had, I don't think you go out the one time you don't make the playoffs. I feel like it's like Tom Brady wouldn't want to go away. You remember Tom Brady, the last interception he threw for the Patriots? It's like, you're not going to go out like that.
I think he's not in Cypress Hill. He's on the Chiefs.
I'm not going out like that.
We ain't going out like that. We ain't going out. I think that gives him more reason to be like, it's over. Like, this run is over.
He has a very bright post-football career, but it's almost like once you stop, you're never going to go back, right? So if he has any desire to play one more time, where I think LeBron could, with all good conscience, I played with my son, I've won on 3 different teams. It's a good question. Your thoughts at 877-99 on Fox.
Well, you and I thought it was obvious, and you and I completely disagree.
Yeah,
I think if anyone's going to retire, it's Kelsey. And I think LeBron's got like one more year because when have he announced it already and taken in that farewell tour?
I'm looking at it from another angle. You're saying who's going to retire. I'm saying who would want to run it back more, and I think LeBron doesn't need to. Kelsey would not want to go out like this. Dan Byer, what say you? And let's get an update, man. What's up?
I'm not breaking a tie, but I am siding with Covino. I think Kelsey. I think it's at the end of the rope.
Oh.
Yes, and I think that LeBron, even with the Lakers' success this season, which has mostly been without him, that he wants that farewell tour that Covino mentioned, and I still think that there's an opportunity he would go and play elsewhere next year.
To
try to do it on his own terms.
Yeah, with LeBron, don't you think if it was his end, we would know it? I think so. Hey, welcome back to the program. Covino and Rich sweeping the nation. in for Dan Patrick, live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. Well, Rich Davis is in his 49ers shirt and his Mr. Rogers jacket. Rich Davis super pumped about his 49ers, as he should be. Danny G, the birthday boy, birthday weekend. Danny G, our super producers on the phones at 877-99 on Fox. We got Ramsey. We got Spot manning the videos at Spot Center. You could watch us, watch what you hear. Covino and Rich, FSR. I'm here in Idaho, 99.9. What up, Idaho? I'm here for the Great Potato Marathon that I'm training for, Rich. I'll tell you about that later, maybe. After the show, the DP podcast and our stream goes up, so if you miss any of the show, be sure to catch the podcast. Danny G puts a best of up. We had the best of the year go up. If you want to catch it, Covino and Rich, wherever you stream your podcast, be sure to follow, rate, and review. And like I said, we're on YouTube streaming live. You can catch that anytime, Covino and Rich, FSR. Now, a great weekend of football. We'll get you ready for tonight, but some NBA too, Rich. LeBron's in the news, but LeBron's always in the news.
I mean, we're talking about an NBA where we're hoping that the young stars find a way to, become more household names. I feel like if you ask most people, I don't think your mom can name some of the young stars in the NBA now. They're still on the Stephs and the LeBrons of the world.
Speaking of
and stuff,
young stars, Rich, there's like a weird time warp, or I don't know. There's something weird about Gian. Did you see Giannis got in all this beef and controversy when he slammed on the Bulls? Danny G, I'm sure you saw it.
Yeah.
And they're all in his face. He's showing up the Bulls in that moment. He's like, "Yeah, I'm trying to do anything to spark this team up."
Yo,
he goes, "I've been in the league."
Did you see how far back his arm extended on that dunk?
Dude, he does this windmill dunk in their face, and they get all mad about it. And it was awesome to see. I mean, just from a fan perspective. And he's like, "I've been in the league, I think he says 13 years." And I'm like,
"Wait, what?
Wait a second. What? 13 years?" So I still think of him as a young star, but he's not. He's a veteran. That doesn't even sound right. When I say it loud on Fox Sports Radio, I'm like, wait, is that right? How is that right?
Time's a flying.
LeBron James, 41 years old. It's his birth. You and LeBron share a birthday week, Danny G.
Of course.
LeBron James.
Same guy.
LeBron James. It's tomorrow's birthday, right? I think
tomorrow.
Yeah,
yes.
Tomorrow. He's 41 mañana.
He turns 41 tomorrow.
Hey, Rich, on a Taco Tuesday.
Oh, he'll be celebrating tomorrow.
Yeah, he will.
Now, my question to you is, LeBron James, Lakers, they lost 3 in a row, and then they have a recalibration. J.J. Redick even said something to the effect that with LeBron there, since LeBron got back, we haven't been as organized offensively.
Yeah, which caused some controversy again. But LeBron James, 24 points
last night
in 29 minutes after all that against the Kings. So the Lakers won 125-101. But yeah, it's really weird because it goes week to week. It's a matter of, well, Reeves is hurt now, right? That's another part of the story.
Yeah,
but
for 4 weeks.
For 4 weeks he's out. So now it's sort of like back to LeBron. They're so back and forth on they're better without him, but then they need him. It's no longer his team, but then again, we need him again. So, they really lack identity because even LeBron is saying on other podcasts, or his management is saying, like, this isn't a championship caliber team. And it's like, well, you got a lot of superstars on this team. If you guys get it together, why shouldn't you be?
Well, you saw some of this on Christmas. What they're really lacking, defensive effort. What did they have against the Kings last night? They were all over them defensively, and that's what Redick really drilled.
First time they won all 4 quarters, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
After
are they
that
moving
game,
from LeBron, or are they still playing around LeBron? Like, it's week to week with the narrative and with the results. It went from we're moving beyond LeBron. That's how it felt. Now you need him, and it showed, and they won, and he's still playing big. 24 points, looking good.
The NBA is tricky, right? Because it all comes down to the postseason, right? Because the regular season, well, it means something. How do these teams match up in the postseason? And right now, you got to decide, is there anyone other than the Spurs that could beat OKC? Are the Lakers just around for the fun until they face one of those teams? We'll figure all that out before you know it. More Covino and Rich next, right here, in for Dan Patrick.
It's Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. Are you ready?
Yes! We talk about pop culture, we talk about sports, we talk about life.
It's a friendship on the radio. When you talk about the best athlete in the world, you're probably thinking Jim Thorpe, right?
I'm thinking Bo Jackson.
I'd have to throw myself at the age of 12 into the conversation.
You are the home run champion. When you find the commonality between sports and life, those analogies and conversations are the best.
You were dating some girl, and you were like,
Hey, babe, let's watch The Sixth Sense.
her mom walked in. Can you believe he was dead the whole time?
I wanted to get up.
Well, slow down, Dana White.
I don't want to say It's never boring.
If the Chiefs win.
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
Our friendship is real. It's authentic. You can't fake the funk.
We're the type of guys you'd want to hang out with at a sports bar. Best way to pick someone up at a bar?
Yeah.
Go up to a cute girl and say, oh, look at that bozo over there. And I point to you. We could make fun of each other, poke each other a little bit.
I call him Blubber Lips, Rich Davis, because he never stops talking.
He thinks he's the Mexican Fonz.
Yeah.
At any point, he's wearing a chain. You have a chain on?
Always.
Of course he has a chain on.
That's like asking me if I'm wearing cologne right now. Of course I am. We take a lot of pride in being inclusive and interactive on our show. Just the more the merrier.
Josh, Covino thinks that every man should own a leather jacket.
I only wear vegan leather.
Can you believe this guy?
I can't believe this guy. We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate y'all show. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
Mike Tyson, Covino, loves to just challenge us with random Mike Tyson trivia.
Which accomplished celebrity purchased my sprawling Connecticut estate?
I'm going to go 50 Cent.
You are absolutely correct, 50 Cent. I love his song.
You can't schedule a big event during a big sports moment.
My family member scheduled their wedding the same night as a Julio Cesar Chavez fight. Everyone was glued to that fight instead of doing the electric slide.
This is weak.
Unbelievable. You're very tricky.
America, you got sports, you got fun, you got us.
Covino and Rich.
We're crushing it.
Lamar Jackson's status to be ready to go is in question. The quarterback did not play Saturday. Reports are that he is still dealing with a significant back contusion. That would put backup Tyler Huntley in the big chair for that game. Showdown also for Saturday night between the 49ers and Seahawks for the number 1 seed. Brock Purdy had 5 touchdowns in a 42-38 shootout over the Chicago Bears. 3-7 in the NFC now locked in. Kawhi Leonard put up a career-high, eye-watering 55 points, plus 11 rebounds to boot, as the Clippers cruised past the Detroit Pistons, 112-99. Former heavyweight boxing champion Anthony Joshua, who just recently defeated Jake Paul, was injured in a car crash in Nigeria that killed 2 other passengers. His injuries are minor, being described at this time. I'm Chris Perfett. Keep it here on Fox Sports Radio.
Hey.
Steve Covino and Rich Davis.
Yeah. Happy taint to all, and to all a great taint. It's the taint of the holidays.
It is.
Taint quite Christmas, taint quite the New Year. It's that
between.
confusing time where you rock your pajama pants, you gain a few pounds, and you hang out with us on Fox Sports Radio. It's that time of year you're like, who's in for Dan Patrick? Covino and Rich. Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 normally. 5 to 7 on the East, 2 to 4 on the West Side. And, of course, Overpromised is our bonus show, which you can get at Covino and Rich FSR on YouTube. We're streaming live right now. Join the live chat. Join the fun. And if you want to catch up on the show, all of our shows are there. Covino and Rich FSR. I'm Steve Covino, live in Idaho for the holidays. 99.9. Rich Davis. Danny G. The whole crew. Spotty Boy and Ramsey. Everybody back in L.A. And, Rich, I think this hour we need to have some fun, some holiday fun, because it is the gooch of the holidays. And I also want to call you out in something that I call what do I call it? The sport life balance, I guess. The sport life balance.
I had to pull one last night. And by the way, last night, Brock Purdy.
Beast. I think we're fooled by his boyish looks, his Wally Cleaver attitude. But now we're seeing his dance moves and the fact that this guy plays big. I mean, the Bears are tough.
What about the little juke moves where he finds Juszczyk just standing in the end zone? That play, as they even pointed out last night, Collinsworth. I mean, there's a guy that Mahomes who looks like comparing him to Mahomes, of course.
You know what it is, Rich? Can I give you some fight analogy? And by the way, thoughts and prayers to Anthony Joshua. It seems like a terrible story in Nigeria. I'm glad he's okay, but apparently a tire blew out, and the driver lost control. 2 were dead. He seems to be okay, but like a horrific scene that's developing as we speak. You heard Perfett talking about it, but we mentioned it before. A fight analogy would be like Brock Purdy is unassuming. What really brought me back to boxing and fighting again was Gennady Golovkin in the early 2000s, Triple G. And he was the most unassuming dude. Yeah. But he was a badass in the ring. Like, he was unstoppable. It was such a force.
Max, Triple G.
Drama show. Yeah, I punch, I destroy. But he was the goofiest looking dude, but just fought so tough, and he seemed so unstoppable. And I think that's the thing with Brock Purdy. He really does look like a little boy out there. And we know him as Mr. Irrelevant. We have all these preconceived ideas of Brock Purdy and who he is and what he looks like. But when he's out there, dude, he just clicks with the squad. He makes big plays. Yeah. We have to erase that and see what he's doing out there. What he's doing out there is highly competitive. And fierce sounds too RuPaul for me. Give me a word. It's
fierce.
Ferocious. He's playing with some gusto and some confidence and poise, noticeable poise.
Well, they did point out many times last night, like, here's one guy that was your number 1 overall pick, and here's one guy that was the last pick. As they pointed out, Brock Purdy was chosen when they were cleaning up the joint at the very end of the draft.
Yeah.
And,
we got to get that idea out. He's a bona fide star now. He's surrounded by stars, but he works well with them, and he's playing big. 303 yards. 3 touchdowns, 5 total, one pick, but just playing big and Christian McCaffrey and having all these weapons. But again, he was minus Kittle yesterday, so he looked great, dude. Props to your team. They played big, and I know that you were really in the zone when it came to the game
I get so nervous, by the way, every time Christian McCaffrey gets tackled, because I'm like,
you need him.
Because their game and the 49ers run, you could say there's factors like a big Trent Williams on the left side, or Kittle, what he does catching the ball but also blocking. But Christian McCaffrey, that offense, as much as we give him Purdy props, McCaffrey is so key. And every time he gets hit hard on a long run and someone has to go help him up, I'm like, please don't be limping. Please. And last night when he was stretching his oblique a little bit, I was like, oh, please. So the 49ers do run through McCaffrey, but last night, Covino, I had to pull that sports life balance move where, we are still living our life, even though we do revolve a lot of it around watching our big games. I have family in town. I have friends that are as close as family. And
it's the gooch of the holidays, man. Everybody's doing their thing.
We have people in town, and I said, you know what? We'll leave the kids at home. One of our friends kids, a teenager, like your daughter's age almost. So it was like, all right, she could watch the kids. Let's go get a dinner, just the adults. And we made an 8:30 dinner reservation because I was like, yeah, 8:30 seems about fair. Sunday Night Football starts at 5:15. I'm like, and even if the fourth quarter, if the Niners are up big or down big, I won't care as much. And I'll catch the end of the game and boom, the restaurant's 5 minutes away. That game dragged.
Was that deliberate, though? Because that's sort of a late reservation. You were just trying to catch all the games?
Well, yeah, they were like, you want to get dinner? And my wife's like, well, how about like 7? I'm like, how about not?
I knew you had a say in that.
I'm like, don't you know your husband? Look at the shirt I'm wearing. But yeah, so I said, let's make the 8:30 reservation. Game is still, we leave the house, and luckily I immediately put the game on my phone. I'm like, babe, can you drive? I'm going to be passenger princess. I'm watching during the 5-minute. I left right after the 49ers went ahead with their touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Bears get the ball with like a minute, whatever, that 2 minutes left. I have to get in the car. They walk in the restaurant, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sit in the car. And I sat in the car for not long, a good 10 minutes or so by myself. And it makes you wonder, like, when you do date, it's my wife. It doesn't matter. She knows what I'm made of. She knows who I am, right? If you're dating someone new, can you ever pull a move like that and expect to get any booty? Like, can you imagine being like, yeah, we got to let's just sit in the car. I got to watch the last 5 minutes of the game. Is that something you do with a new person? Because then you're sort of setting the precedent, like, this is who you're with.
Man, that's a tough one because you don't want to falsely advertise.
Like Danny,
you
let's
don't
say
want to do what's it called, the bait and switch. Like, no, honey, I'm not into watching the game, and then be into the game.
Like,
that's terrible.
Danny, if I were a single guy and last night I'm let's say I'm meeting a date and it's not my wife and I'm a single dude, do you set the precedent early and be like, hey, I know we just met, but I have to watch the last 10 minutes of this game at the restaurant or in my car?
No, she'd also have to be a Niner fan, which is why I say when you're out there in the dating pool, find somebody that loves the same teams you do. It just makes life
that's why Rich found his wife on onlyniners.com.
Yeah. No, see, the hot ass is way more important than my rooting interest. But I do think dating someone.
You wouldn't think that if Sarah was a Seahawks fan.
My wife's family likes the Packers. I will say, though, that dating a woman whose family is into football does help. Like, when your wife or the girl you're dating, if she grew up where her dad was really into the game, that's a woman that sort of understands it because she was raised with that. Like, my wife never once questioned, like, you have to watch the end of the game. I've had exes that are like, let's go, let's leave. And
That's not always the case. I'm not trying to debate your sentiment here. I actually agree with that. It's a better situation, no doubt. But my girlfriend's dad is a big football fan, and she still gives me flack. I'm like, and it's my job to know what's going on.
Yeah. Well,
so the sports life balance is real. So, Rich, you got to tell them what you did, though. I feel like you're beating around the bush. Rich, and he posted this on social media, too, like a goonburger.
I was sitting in the car while I was like, you guys go get apps. I don't want to watch us sitting at a table in a restaurant. I just want to sit in the car by myself and watch the last 10 minutes of the game.
Well, my thinking was not only did you want to watch, and I don't blame you for that, while they sat in the restaurant and ate and waited for you, but I felt like you didn't want to move because you didn't want to jinx the situation.
I didn't want to jinx it, but I also didn't want to I wanted to be able to react. I wanted to be able to
alone in your car.
I wanted to be able to let out a big F, like fudge. I wanted to be able to let out like a Josh Allen. You saw Josh Allen's lip reading yesterday?
Yeah.
Fudge. I wanted to be able to let out a big F, or I wanted to be able to do a little Fred Warner, Dub City. I wanted to be able to let out a little Dub City or a big no.
Without looking like a maniac in public.
I didn't want to look like an a-hole at the sushi place. And I was like,
the thing, though, I don't want to give out bad advice because, we, believe it or not, guys, we do this for a living and we've done it for a long time, right? So that's Rich's sort of scapegoat here. This is excuse. And he's a diehard 49ers fan. For the regular guy who's just a fan, to have his family going without him and they're waiting around while he sits there for another 5 plus minutes. It was more than that.
Yeah.
It was 5 minutes left on the clock.
I think I got into the restaurant reservation was at 8:30. I think I got into the restaurant at like 8:40 something, 8:42 or 30.
Okay,
Yeah, so
it's
it
not
was
too bad.
No, I was like,
But,
hey, guys,
I would think that
go order a
it's
drink.
sort of frowned upon.
Well, you could see this if you go to my Instagram story at Rich Davis. I got my kids' new Niners gear for Christmas, and then I posted my little reaction video outside the restaurant. I'm like, I got to go eat. But it brings up a couple questions. Of course, your observations from Week 17, we're always taking them on a Monday throughout the whole show. As Scott Mayer said on the chat, boss move, man. That took stones. Telling your wife and family go in the restaurant.
Yeah. By the way, please, you could see his react. You could see everything we're talking about on his IG story. Go to Rich Davis on Instagram, and you can see this guy, leaving his car in the parking lot, joining his family after they've been waiting for him because he wanted to watch the end of the game. And I don't blame him at all. What I would have done, I probably would have set my phone down and joined them and just had the phone on there and said, hey, guys, I hope you don't mind. I would have used work as an excuse, or you could just use your fandom as an excuse, or just say you had money on it or whatever.
I mean, Mike
but
said,
believe me, people
said,
do judge, though, because not everybody relates.
Mike said in a marriage or in a relationship, you do have to set that standard. And it's not like you're the boss, but I don't think you should hide your priorities when you're, like early on. I think I was like, yeah, like it's the 8th inning of a game, but we're running a little late, but I got to see if the Mets win this one. Like, I think you have to let your partner know where your
on the flip
interests lie.
side, you can't pretend to like stuff that you don't. For example, my girlfriend, I've been with her a long time, but when we first started dating, we were out and about a lot, and every time we went out, it was like drinks and fun, and she's really fun when she has a drink or two. And then, fast forward, she doesn't have a drink ever, and really rarely wants to go out.
Now
to
she's
eat.
no
Right?
fun, you said.
And, no, I never said that.
I'm sorry, you said that to me. Oh, sorry.
But then what happens? Then I'm drinking by myself, and I feel like a loser, and I'm like, wait a minute, have a drink with me. She's like, I don't drink. I'm like, but you did when we were first going out, right? So you also can't pretend to be into stuff that you're not. So just be true to yourself is the obvious sentiment here. But it's really the question of sports life balance. And I'm thinking of things like I'll call my brother-in-law out because he listens to Fox Sports Radio. My brother Dan, he's one of the biggest supporters, huge Fox Sports Radio fanatic, big sports fan. But he'll leave a family event and family will be like, hey, where'd Dan go? And Dan moonwalked out of the family party to go watch WrestleMania with his buds. But we know that's what Dan's into.
Man, what are you gonna do?
But is that the sports life balance, right?
As my kids said, there's an expression with kids now, don't yuck my yum.
Right.
Every hear kids
let them enjoy their life.
Don't ruin my fun. If the end of the 49ers game is emotionally crappy or awesome for me, what are you gonna? What type of wife would my wife be if she was like, put down your phone and come in the restaurant? I'd be like, I hate you. You would end up.
But at the same time, dude, we also are very critical. I can't help but notice that my girlfriend pauses the actual dinner to make sure she takes pictures of her meal because she's into social media, right? So it's
allow that.
I kind of want to yuck that yum a little bit. Hey, can we just eat without the photo shoot?
No, you should do when she gets her dessert or food, immediately smush it with your fork.
Yeah, but then again, that's her.
Have you seen? By the way, has anyone else seen that trend on social media?
Yes,
it's guys who have women that love to take pictures of their food. The minute the food gets there, the guy will be an a-hole and just take their fork and
messes up the plate.
I will ruin the aesthetic of the meal. So, this brings up a good question, Covino, because forget my dinner, forget the Niners. I don't want to make it about me, but I can't be the only one that deals with a bunch of kids sports. My kids are very active. They play a bunch of sports. And get this, my daughter has joined girls flag football, which I'm pumped about. I think this is a good exercise, good fun. She understands the game from watching with dad.
Let me ask this. I don't know if it's just in LA, but there's a lot of girls that play just regular. Is this a girls'
I think it's co-ed. I think
I was going to ask you that because it's mostly co-ed.
But I think they made a team
of they're really good.
I think they made a team of girls, though. I think the team of girls are going to be competing with boys as well, but they're so young, so the gap in athleticism isn't necessarily there yet. So I think they could still hang.
No, it's fun, dude. I mean, I have nephews in the flag football leagues, which are really exploding. It's an Olympic sport now, as we know, but it's very much boys and girls.
Let me give you the BS I got yesterday. And, I coach my kids for baseball and softball. For flag football, I told them, I was like, yeah, I'll help out if you want, but I sort of want to just watch my kid. Sometimes you don't want to coach everything. Sometimes you just want to be dad in his folding chair, and you just want to watch and take it in, right? You don't need to coach everything. I get the schedule yesterday, and it's flag what, Covino? Football.
Yes.
It starts, this little winter season starts the same weekend as Wild Card Weekend.
Oof.
There's a game every Sunday in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah.
And this is not even a joke. There's a game. We live on the West Coast, so the Super Bowl starts at what, 3:30? Right? Because the Super Bowl usually starts at 6:36 or something East Coast time. There's a game that ends around the start time of the Super Bowl. And my first thought is, I can't be the only dad that's like, or mom, that's like, you're putting all these kids' football games on at the same time as the NFL playoffs?
It really forces the sports life balance. Luckily for you, there's something called a tablet you could bring, or your phone, and watch the game.
Yeah, I said to my wife, I said, she's like, you signed her up for this. I'm like, I know, but I said there might be times where I might say, yeah, I'm skipping this one. My game's on or something.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It really is. The expectations are real.
But
you have a choice to make. But I think the obvious choice here is, unfortunately for you, you got to go to the game. I mean, you don't have to go to every game.
But I mean,
you do. You got to go to the game if you can, and you just bring a tablet with you and enjoy.
Yeah.
Bring some AirPods and watch the game and cheer her on.
I mean, your kid's more important than the NFL, but
no question.
You watch a whole season not to miss a playoff game because your 8-year-old is running around missing balls. It's an interesting thought. But the Super Bowl one was an interesting one. Can you imagine anyone bringing their kid to a sporting event, gymnastics, basketball, football, flag football? Can you imagine any event going on Super Bowl Sunday? That's got to.
You would imagine that guys who organize a league would know not to do that. That seems like a little much. It's basically a national holiday.
I remember,
you got people come. Everybody has something going on.
I remember Game 7 of the World Series. I know it's a silly analogy, but Game 7 of the World Series, my adult men's softball league, they're like, yeah, we're canceling all the games tonight, because what grown man that plays softball as a 30, 40, 50-year-old that loves baseball enough to play softball as a grown man, you don't think any of those guys want to watch Game 7 of the World Series? So I don't get it sometimes. It's that schedule maker. I'm like, do they not live the normal life? What person is bringing their kid to a game on Super Bowl Sunday? I'll tell you, I am not.
And I think you could use the game as an excuse to get out of things you don't want to participate in, to be honest, when it comes to the sports life balance. And it's real around the grundle of the holidays, the grassy knoll that we're in right now, the space between. Because even last night, it was like family fun time. I'm with my girlfriend's family, and she's like, what's that Monopoly card game that people like?
I don't know.
Monopoly Go or whatever. Let's play Monopoly Go. And I'm like, I wish I could, but I can't. The Niners game. I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. I just can't concentrate. So you have fun, though. I'll be right here.
Who wants to go in the
on.
backyard and play Jenga?
Yeah,
there's a college ball. The Snoop Dogg bowl game is on.
And by the way, that doesn't compare to your kids' flag football game, but you're also able to use it as an excuse.
Don't get me wrong.
Find the balance.
I gotta let it be known. Watching my kid takes precedence, obviously, but I'm just fascinated that I can't be the only, and I say dad and mom, but I'm just stereotypically saying more dads probably aren't looking at the same schedule I am, and they're saying, so wait, every game is during the NFL playoffs, and there's even a game scheduled on Super Bowl Sunday? This is flag football.
Yeah,
if I'm signing my kid up for flag football, there's a very good chance I and my kid like, you guessed it, football. It's wild to me.
We have a few phone calls on this, to sports life balance. It's challenging, especially around the holidays, because you're surrounded by family too, and that's when your habits are exposed a little bit. 877-99 on Fox. Who do we got?
Bruno in Brooklyn. What's up, Bruno?
What's up?
Hey, buddy.
Bruno.
Gentlemen, Happy New Year first and foremost.
Back at you.
Thank you, man. Hey, listen, real quick on this thing. I think where the wheels have turned, obviously children first. I know with my kids, be there or else. But what's really made this so much better, excuse me, is the fact that you got a cell phone now, man. You can cheat. You can sit, watch the game, and keep on top of what's going on with your pro sports team, primarily football or baseball. But you can do it, but, man, you got to be there. To Rich's point, who is scheduling these things? They know. We used to have tournaments on Mother's Day and Father's Day weekend, okay?
True.
And that really put a punch on, like, going away and seeing family out of the area, whatever. On another note, real quick, I won't keep you. This idea that Purdy, all the talking heads that say Purdy's not the real deal is crazy. Purdy put on a show last night. He's one of the best, top shelf. And the wild thing was every time the Bears scored, I said, well, that's it. And then he'd come right back down the field. The guy's the real deal. And my favorite part last night, the dude was flexing after he scored. He ran a couple. He threw a couple. Fantastic. That game had me on the edge of my seat, and I'm not a fan of either team. I loved it. It was some of the best football I've seen in a long time.
It was great.
Well said, man.
I'll tell you what, it was. If you love offensive football, it was great. And I'll tell you this, as a Niners fan, and we got plenty of friends that are Bears fans. Shout out to our buddy Carlos, our buddy Sammy J, our buddy Mike Valesco. Like I know so many Bears fans that hit me up. They were saying Carl Reinhardt was hitting me up. Bears fans and Niners fans alike saying, these teams can't be stopped. That doesn't really say great things about the defenses, though.
Exactly.
Like, I do wonder, clearly the Seahawks, someone's got to put pressure on Brock Purdy. Caleb Williams had all the time in the world. I said the 49ers have to score 40 points because you saw him against Phillip Rivers in Indy a week ago. Phillip Rivers had all the time in the world in the pocket at 44 years old. The Niners, without Fred Warner commanding that team and without Nick Bosa's pass rush, they're lacking. They need to score 40. If the 49ers want to make a playoff run, they're going to have to win games scoring 35-plus in every game. Fact.
Rich, you're the gambling fool. I imagine it went over no? 42-38?
I think at halftime.
Halftime, right? I think they went up.
42-38.
What was that fun fact? It was the only game ever that was 7-7, 14-14, 21-21, 30, 28-28.
When I told you, when the Bears had that field goal, you're like, they're going to lose because now the 49ers are going to come back and score a touchdown. It was just so back and forth.
At that moment, I thought, please don't be now when you stall, right? It's like, it really was a matter of who had the ball last because the reality is that there was another minute in that game. The Bears win, so the Bears have nothing to be ashamed of. Let's go to JP in Northern Cali. JP, what's up, buddy?
Yo, good morning, fellas.
Hey, bud.
Good morning.
I just wanted to bring up a thought. I want to bring up the thought that, yes, you guys want to set that precedent early when you're dating a girl of, hey, you know what? I watch my football. I'm sorry, but this is what I do. But there are times, right, where you can go, you know what? This first game of the season, maybe second game of the season, I might be able to watch it till halftime, and then we can go do what we need to do. But last night's game, sorry, I wasn't in the mood.
Yeah, no, exactly.
No way.
Because trust me, dude, I'm not even joking. As lame as it sounds, we went to an all-you-could-eat sushi spot, and I was starving. I'm like, I can't wait to sit. But I'm like, I hope I sit down in a really good mood, and I did. But I said, go in there, order the first round, order a bunch of appetizers. Let's do it. Here's my drink order. I'll be in 10 minutes. I couldn't leave my little spot sitting in the car watching the game.
Dang, you gave them your drink order?
Yeah.
And you could see this again on Rich's IG story. He was sitting in his car until the game ended. The whole family was there, already ordering with the food.
But let's end this. Wonton soup.
Oh yeah, wonton, please.
Babe, give me the shishito peppers and a spicy tuna roll to start. Thank you.
We have a patented rule that we've been preaching for years, and that is you have to date somebody for a full calendar year before you actually commit to the relationship. That way they see all your habits and you know all of theirs too, because your habits change as seasons change, as the summer kicks in or football season kicks in. And if your significant other can't deal with the fact that, these games are important to me and I'm going to be watching them, then maybe that's not the one for you. And it's not easy to find that sports life balance.
No, so relationships, sports, your kids' sports, I think we all deal with this type of stuff. So if you have any feedback or thoughts, anything you want to chime in, hey, having fun, a casual Monday in for the great Dan Patrick, Covino, and Rich.
Two things, Rich.
Yeah.
We got to give away some prizes, so join the chat now and watch what you hear. Covino and Rich FSR. Danny G's going to be picking some names and giving out some CNR on FSR Turbo Grip Nerf footballs.
Ooh.
Great for the holidays. So join the chat, and if Danny calls your name, you win some prizes. And sports memorabilia or just movie memorabilia, because there was a gift that was gifted for Christmas that might be the most grandest gift of all, and it's from a movie, and I'll explain.
Okay, cool.
We'll get to it next. More Covino and Rich in for Dan Patrick on Fox Sports Radio. We have the great Jimmy Jam here on Overpromised. He's worked with every superstar under the moon, has so many songs for days.
Yeah.
And, since you're so connected to the Jacksons, Janet Jackson in particular, what are your thoughts on the Thriller movie coming out?
I'm looking forward to it. I was supposed to go to not a screening, but I was supposed to go to one of the tapings when they were taping
You
stuff.
saw the trailer, though, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, the trailer looks good. I like the way the trailer looks, but I was supposed to actually go to the film set and see some of the stuff. And Antoine Fuqua, who's directing the movie, is a friend from way back. But I'm excited to see it. I really am. And Michael's incredible. I mean, the fact I can pinch myself that Terry and I got to work with Michael and Prince. I mean, I think we're probably the only people that's happened to, and got to do a duet with Michael and Janet together, the Scream duet.
Oh, man, I hate to put you on the spot, but were you impressed by one more than the other?
In different ways. Prince as a musician, he's the greatest musician ever to me. He could pick up anybody's instrument and play it better than them.
Wow.
He just was that kind of dude.
And he can play basketball.
And he can play basketball.
He was actually a really good basketball player. He was really good. I'm telling you, he was like Steph Curry, man. He had handles. He was serious.
That's crazy.
And Michael just embodied music. Michael wasn't necessarily a musician, but he could tell the musicians what to play and make it, really beautiful. So to me, each in their own way, they were amazing. Now they weren't compatible. Like, they never worked together, and I don't think they would have been compatible, because I can tell you, Prince was literally start a song and end it the same day. It's done. It's mixed. It's over. Michael would be, I remember when we did Scream, and he'd go, okay, we have to challenge ourselves to really make sure that we have the right lyric. And it's like, okay. And after about 2 or 3 days of challenging ourselves, Terry said, hey, man, the lyric's fine. Let's go. Right?
Let's move it along.
Yeah,
he was overthinking it, yeah.
And that's right. He overthought everything. But that was where Quincy came in as such an important thing. And if you think about Michael's tutelage, he started off with Berry Gordy at Motown. He went to Gamble and Huff in Philadelphia. And then he went to Quincy Jones. I mean, that kind of musical education, nobody has that like that. So, yeah, he's an amazing dude. So to me, they're both equally good. I mean, obviously, Prince is the one that made it possible for us to even work with Michael Jackson. So, I mean, I'm always Prince is my guy.
Nice.
Now, Jimmy Jam, here's the question. Not to be prisoners of the moment or not to glorify the past.
Yes.
When you see what's happening with Taylor Swift and the Swifties around the world, is it comparable to Michael Jackson in the 80s? Is it fair to make that comparison?
We often debate this.
We often debate, like, is it the closest thing? Is it on the same level? I mean, who would know better than you?
It's the closest thing because it goes beyond the music that she makes. It's about the way she affects culture. The fact that, people will tune into a Chiefs game who won't watch a football game. So when you think about that, and if you want to talk about that, I don't know if you can see it. I have amongst my bracelets, I do have
Look at
a
that.
Taylor Swift. I got my Taylor Swift.
You got a Swiftie bracelet.
I got my Swiftie bracelet on that my daughter made me.
Well, I don't know if this is a fair question then, because he's a Swiftie.
but he was friends with Michael Jackson. I mean, who knows?
True.
Who knows better?
I gotta listen. I'm old. I've been around a long time, man. So I'm friends with everybody. But I respect Taylor. I love what she does, and also she looks out for music makers. I also respect that. You know, a lot of the decisions she's made with the way she releases her albums, the fact that they're on vinyl, the fact that she called out a bunch of the streaming companies and said, "No, you won't put my music on here for free," and that kind of thing. Yeah, so I like Taylor a lot.
Hey, Jimmy Jim, you work so closely with Janet, and it's been over 20 years now. I always thought that she got such unnecessary shit for the her and Timberlake halftime show. Yeah. When you see where society is now, as far as anything, right? How we like showing a nipple. Like, do you think like it really took its toll based on like something so insignificant when you look back?
Yeah, it was a terrible time, and it really changed a whole lot of things. Now, the good news is obviously she survived it and really thrived on it. I think it became almost a rallying point, particularly for her fans.
I want to wish our super producer, Danny G, a happy belated birthday. He celebrated over the weekend, and I don't want to speak on behalf of Danny, but all he wants for his birthday, or should I say all we want for the taint of the holidays, is for you to follow us at Covino and Rich FSR on YouTube. Watch what you hear. Covino and Rich FSR on YouTube.
I was going to say Fernando Mendoza.
That's what you want. That's what you want for. That's what you want for Christmas. By the way, I think he's
funny
gonna.
Story, Rich.
I think he's gonna come your way. I really do. I think, man, the Raiders with a fun young quarterback could make the world of a difference. When was the last time the Raiders had a fun young quarterback?
You imagine Tom Brady as the mentor to Mendoza? That would be great.
Yeah, it's a good story.
That would be great.
Let's
and
cross
with a hot young quarterback like that, who I've already seen photoshopped in the silver and black. Comes a cool young coach, too, I imagine. Major culture shift.
Yeah.
Covino and Rich live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. For over 40 years, Tire Rack has been helping customers find the right tires for how, what, and where they drive. Ship fast and free, backed by free road hazard protection with convenient installation options like mobile tire installation. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Covino and Rich in for Dan Patrick. Day 2 of the segmented Dan Patrick hat-trick, which means we'll be here again tomorrow morning. So
one more doozy.
Please join us. Yeah. Now, Rich, before we give away prizes, and we're going to do that to bribe some people to check out our show, we got CNR on FSR Nerf footballs. How do you win them? Join our live chat, Covino and Rich FSR.
You know what? You have a question? I have a question about balls.
Sure.
If that's cool with you.
Sure.
Not like just sports balls.
Mad balls.
What's your parental rule or your fun Uncle Steve rule on playing ball in the house? My kids are getting to the age where more and more Nerf footballs, more and more little tennis balls, more things are being thrown around, and nothing valuable has been knocked down yet. And I just know, as a kid, how many times did your parents be like, "No throwing the ball in the house"? And I don't want to be a stick in the mud, but I don't want any of my valuable crap getting ruined. But I also, if I see my son wanting to throw a little what would you call it? Like
It's like a rite of passage for every little sports
what
kid.
What do you call it? A little smush ball baseball. It's like a stress ball almost thing. I see him just throwing it against the side of our kitchen island. What am I going to say? Stop it. Or do I let him do it until something breaks? Like, do you have a parental rule? Danny, in your house, you have 2 college-aged stepsons and a little boy. What's the rule in the Danny house?
There has to be the special balls, like the silent basketball and the ball you're talking about, almost like the stress ball material. They make all that now to where you can throw these around the living room. You're not going to break anything.
I saw an ad on Instagram, and I'm like, they're full of
you throw it as hard as you want. It won't break a window.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm like, there's no way. I saw some dude on Instagram or TikTok. He's like, look at this baseball. It's foam, but it has like the stitching of a real baseball. And this guy turns around and whips it against like his huge-ass window. And he's like,
they're like those squishy stress balls, but they're dimpled like golf balls kind of. And they have this technology that allows them, according to these ads, that allows them to not break glass, and kids could throw them around, and they're a little more worry-free, but still you can knock stuff over.
I don't know if I trust that. Remember Elon Musk?
That's life. Parents are going to complain and kids are going to be kids. It's just how it is.
Remember Elon Musk was like, this is unbreakable. Didn't he at some demonstration with a hammer and then broke the Tesla? Oh, I thought it was unbreakable.
You got to work harder, Rich. You know what it makes me think of? It's the most random line of a very divisive song. You either love Rockstar by Nickelback or you hate Rockstar by Nickelback.
I'll have a quesadilla.
Well, that line itself is controversial, but, the part where he goes, because he's talking about being a rock star and living the life of a rock star. He's so rich and famous, he has a bathroom that he could play baseball in.
That's one of the lyrics?
You
bathroom
up on
I
that?
can play baseball in. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's like, you want to have that sort of ability. Like, that's just how it is when you're a rock star, and that's how you feel when you're a kid. Like, you're invincible and you can do whatever you want.
I'm just wondering, like, am I like a cool dad or an a-hole dad, depending on whether or not I let my kids play ball in the house?
And you know what else it makes me
like
think
if
of?
they're throwing like a Nerf football and like jumping on the couch, like I feel like what am I gonna stop the fun?
It can't disrupt company, right? And it can't be knocking things off the shelf. But you got to let the kids be kids and have fun. You did it, right? So especially if you did it, then you got to let them do it. But remember there was a setting in, I think it was like an early PlayStation game. It was an MLB home run derby game. But you actually played home run derby like in-house, and you would just break things. Do you remember that setting?
I remember what you're talking about. But
it was the best. It was so much fun. Yes, you let a kid, to answer your question, you let a kid be a kid, and you let them show their promise and love of the sport. You encourage it the best way you can. And then you give them a stern reprimanding when they break something. That's just how it is.
I agree. Hey, let them have fun. They're only young ones. And if your kid shows an interest if your kid wants to throw a football around the living room and dive on the couch instead of sitting on their tablet, I think you choose, here's the football, jump on the couch.
We didn't all slide around in our socks in the kitchen playing Nerf basketball with the rim above the doorway.
That's true.
Come on. We all did this stuff. It's just part of being a kid. So just don't break anything. Now, Danny G's looking for winners in the chat. Covino and Rich FSR on YouTube. Covino and Rich FSR on YouTube. You can see our stupid faces. You can see Rich's sweet 49er shirt that he's wearing all proudly today that Santa Claus brought him. But speaking of gifts, Rich, who gave you that shirt? Santa Claus?
I'm my own. I'm the only person that bought me a gift this Christmas.
Oh, nice. I said that. I think you work hard, buy yourself something, right?
Yeah.
Listen to this. Get this. This might be the greatest gift of all. Kim Kardashian went big for Christmas. This is according to Us Weekly.
She got more butt work done? Went big.
Even bigger. Oh. Went big for Christmas, gifting sister Courtney Pee Wee Herman's iconic red Schwinn bicycle from Pee Wee's Big Adventure. A legendary piece of film history and memorabilia, potentially worth over $125,000. And I think Kim got it at auction. Now you're like, wait, I thought the Alamo just bought one recently for their collection, and they did. There's apparently 14 of them that were used in the film, the 1985 classic that came out on my birthday in 1985.
So wait,
August 9th.
Is it true? Is it really true that the Alamo, for the fun of it, bought one just to put like in the basement of the Alamo?
Yeah, well, there is no basement, but they temporarily put it on display. But I believe
really
they are the proud owners of one of the bikes.
My
and you
bike.
May go to some museum or something and see one there. There's 14 of them. Kim got her hands on one of them, and I think they posted it. And you remember the back license plate? The best bike in the whole world, and it says property of Pee Wee Herman on the license plate.
Does it come with this bike chain? Remember the long, never-ending bike chain?
I don't know what it comes with, but it's a story, from the weekend, and it got me thinking, like, as a big fan of the movie, I think it's one of the classics. It's right up there with Casablanca, and it's right up there with Back to the Future. Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Is there other memorabilia in sports, in movies, in film that would be the ultimate
All right,
gift?
so you're saying if you were taking it back to the 90s when places like Planet Hollywood were impressive,
right?
What would be your one?
I'm not talking replicas either. I'm saying that.
What would be your one? Like, hey, welcome to my my TV room. Welcome to my man cave. Welcome to my setup. Take a look at this. I got my answer.
We always jokingly say, Rich, like in history, like Abe Lincoln's top hat would be like wow, what a conversation.
I've said that.
Would be, huh?
I've said that if I was super baller,
you'd probably wear it out to dinner. Sometimes.
I always thought it was funny how David Wells got the Babe Ruth Yankees hat, and he tried to wear it in a game.
He wore it on the field,
right?
And then take it off. Yeah, he had it on.
So I thought that was cool. He got Babe Ruth's Yankee hat.
That's the best.
I think Pee Wee Herman's bike's a good one, but if you were to ask me, I'd say as far as history goes, Abe Lincoln's top hat has got to be the number one historical item that I'd be like, how badass is that? It's Abe Lincoln's freaking top hat. Better yet,
something.
What about this one? Abe Lincoln's top hat, or in the world of movies, which is sort of sports also, I think Rocky Balboa's red, white, and blue trunks that he wore against Drago, those like USA flag ones, which I know they make bathing suits and swim trunks like that now, but the ones from
Adonis
the movie,
Creed has them now, doesn't Adonis Creed have them?
Yeah. But I think the ones that Creed and Rocky wore, that's a top 5 answer for me. I think that's a cool movie item.
All right, so it is the holidays. 'Tis the season to give. It's the grassy knoll grundle of the holidays. What piece of sports memorabilia, movie memorabilia would be the ultimate gift? And all we want from you guys is a quick follow at Covino and Rich, and of course, Covino and Rich FSR on YouTube. And we're giving gifts to you.
Yeah.
If you jump on the chat and join us now, if Danny G calls your name, we're giving gifts to you. But we love your feedback. 877-99 on Fox. We got more feedback, more football, more Covino and Rich. In for Dan Patrick next on Fox Sports Radio. What's the show without a Brady mention?
I mean, TB12, he's the man. Can't deny it. But he pulled a move that I'm torn on.
This is a Pet Sematary
I
move.
feel like while we talk about it, I'm going to work out how I really feel, because I've found myself going back and forth on this one, because I have a dog. You have a dog. Danny, you guys got a pet?
Yeah, a cat and a dog.
Hey, yo, Derek, Mookie with Mookie. Mookie Betts, he's my dog. Hey, Derek.
Thanks, Poppy.
Hey, my dog, you my dog.
I was saying, you got a pet? I feel like you got a ferret. Do you have a
We
ferret?
talked about this. He shares a custody of a pet with his ex.
I have a
remember?
rent-a-doggy, but I would very much like to keep him around forever.
We all love our pets. If you're a pet owner, of course you love your pet. In fact, my dog is very old and unfortunately will not be around for much longer, and I know that.
Will Smith is my dog.
So I just
It
know that
breaks my heart because I know your dog so well.
Yeah, and it's like,
and I love her.
It's a bummer. I have a 12-and-a-half-year-old French bulldog. That's the equivalent of a 100-year-old person. So I know that my wife and I say, come on, let's get one more Christmas. Like, it's an old dog. We had
She still plays, though. She was playing with her toys when I was over at your house. She loves life still.
She also fell off the couch and almost died.
Yeah, she fell off the couch and almost
elderly related, yeah.
Like an old person falling. We just had a friend, one of the kids at school, their best friend, lost their dog last week. And when you realize your dog is not going to be around forever, do you pull the Tom Brady if you have the money? I looked this up. They're saying this is like a $50,000 to $100,000 starting point.
Well, you know what I'm not buying here? If you listen closely to Isaac Lowenkron's news alert, his news update, which you never do, Rich, because you're too busy babbling yourself, he said something along the lines of Tom Brady paid $100,000 to clone his dog, but he's partners in this company, this biotech lab facility.
And he doesn't exactly have a great track record when it comes to investments, FTX crypto.
Yeah, but if you're a partner in this company, you really think he paid $100,000? He didn't get the company discount, or is this just good promo? If you're part of this company, you're not saying, hey, Tom, we'll do it for free. Just tell everybody about it. Tom Brady paid diddly squat to get this done, and you heard it from me. There's no way he paid $100,000.
That way, like, any pet lover's like, wait a minute, Tom Brady did what?
That's just what it costs, and they want everyone to know. If you
How can
want
I
it done,
do it?
This is how much it costs.
Well,
even Tom Brady paid. He's in the company. He paid nothing.
Well, I'll tell you what, towards the end of a dog's life, the vet bills might as well add up to that. So let me ask you, would you clone your pet? Covino, you've never really been that much of a pet lover, and then you got your dog Theo. Every day when you're sitting there watching the Yankees game or Love is Blind or whatever dumb stuff you're watching, your dog's sitting there with you.
That's right.
You told me it's the first pet you've actually really appreciated.
It's my dog. Well, I do have a dog, and I guarantee you my girlfriend would want to clone him. She loves him that much.
And don't you think that part of the enjoyment of loving animals and having a lot of pets is they all have their own, personalities.
Right.
Why would you want the next pet to be so much like the last pet you had?
I get it because you love that dog so much.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be creepy if it's just kind of like your last dog?
But here's my question. Isn't there something beautiful about having a pet? And as the old saying goes, they're just a little part of your life, but you're their whole life, which is really sentimental and corny and loving when you think about it, right? Like you're their whole life, but they are just a fun little chapter of yours. Your dog lives 10, 12, 15 years. Isn't there something to be said about that's a beautiful chapter that you close the book on, and then you get a different puppy? And, remember when we had a little poodle? Now we got a golden retriever. Now we got a French bulldog. You may have multiple pets throughout your life. To carbon copy your pet just seems like you're living in the past. Like there's a party that's like, time to move on, weirdo.
Where does this stop?
Yeah,
if
I made up my mind.
Are you going to clone grandma just because you loved her? Like, where does this go?
And she may not come back as grandma. She'd have to live the exact life that your grandma lived. She'd just be a carbon copy with a different personality.
Told you, I would find my way once we talked about it. Now, it's like, we always say you watch a fight, you don't know who you're rooting for. Then the minute the fight starts, you realize who you're rooting for. I was like, that's sort of cool. The more I'm thinking about it, chapters of life, who your neighbors are, what apartment or house you lived in, what job you had, what car you drive. That would be like saying, I'm going to have the same exact car, same color, same model over and over and over and over and ever. Every time your lease is up or every 5 to 10 years, I'm going to get the same exact car. You have to mix up life.
It's the show. Covino and Rich in for Dan Patrick, live from the Fox Sports Radio studio. Shout out to Idaho 99.9. Again, I'm here in Idaho for the big potato drop on New Year's. The great potato
you're
drop.
the Grand Marshal of the parade,
I am. And the rest of the crew back in L.A. from the Fox Sports Radio studio. The hottest rookies, biggest superstars, and all-time greats. The only place to collect them all is Panini Trading Cards, the official trading cards of the Dan Patrick Show. For instant classics, autograph cards, memorabilia cards, rare inserts, and more. Start or continue your collection now at PaniniAmerica.net. Speaking of memorabilia, that's what we're getting at. 877-99 on Fox Sports and Movie, because Kim Kardashian gave Kourtney, and I feel like man, someone like me deserves Pee Wee Herman's Bicycle. I've loved that movie my whole life. I feel like, yeah, sing the song. Hey, Courtney, come here and sing the song he sings on the bike. Show me you deserve that gift. But when you got that kind of money, you can get whatever you want. She got the legendary 1 of 14 bicycles from the movie for Christmas, and it got us thinking about some of the greatest gets, if you could, in sports and movies. We'll wrap it up with that. And while we do that and get your phone calls, 877-99 on Fox, we might as well give away some gifts. And Danny G, do you have any names from our chat? If you follow our chat and Danny G calls your name, you always qualify for a Nerf football. Covino and Rich FSR on YouTube.
Just joined the YouTube chat. What's up, Danny?
Yeah, so earlier in the morning, I noticed that Bleacher Bum 1695 wrote, "Glad to be catching you guys live. It's making this workday a lot easier."
Sweet.
So I selected him for a Nerf football because you guys started the show by talking about everybody who has the week off or the day off. How about all of us Warriors working?
That's right. So you know what, Bleacher Bum, well done. You get that Nerf football. Thank you, Danny G. And just a shout-out to Michael and Colin and Megan. Let's see, Scott Connolly. Everyone chiming in on our in-show chats. Scott Mayer, Jeremiah. And let's go to your feedback. People also calling at 877-99 on Fox. What is that memorabilia piece in the world of sports or movies that you would think would be the ultimate talking piece in like your man cave or your office? Ron, you're on in Florida.
Hey, how you guys doing? I was going back and forth on this, but I think ultimately I came down to the golf ball that went in the hole in Caddyshack.
It's a good one.
Oh, especially if you're a golf fan, yeah, that'd be a major bragging right for sure. And, Rich, I was talking about baseball cards a minute ago. We always go back to that Billy Ripken F-face card that we all had, the coveted F-face card. What if you had the actual bat?
Oh, the F-face bat. It had to exist.
Right? Like, where's the bat? Like, yo, yeah, you got the card? Ooh. That's cool.
Never thought
I
of that.
got the bat. Here it is.
Oh.
The actual bat. That's not
good
bad.
One. Josh in Ohio. What's up, Josh?
Hey, great to hear you guys on my way to work instead of my way home from work.
Nice.
It's great that this is the conversation because I was introducing my 6-year-old daughter to the Sandlot today. I would like to have the forged Babe Ruth, the replacement ball from the Sandlot that they put in Dennis Leary's den while they try to get the other one.
It's a good one.
You know, especially if it's one of your favorite movies, what a cool piece that would be, right? Because it would just mean that much more. Forget about the monetary value of it. It's like the sentimental value. Like, this is one of my favorite movies. I love baseball. This is a cool piece of it. You know, these things aren't impossible to get.
Let's go to Leanne in Toronto. Hey, Leanne.
Hey, Leanne.
Happy New Year, guys.
Back at you. What's up?
I'm going off the grid a little. I'm a big fan of everything by the Coen brothers, and I would like the rug from The Big Lebowski because we all know that it tied the room together.
I think that's a great example. I think we were going to say like a bowling ball from The Big Lebowski. Hey, listen, these are all great answers. I think everyone needs one piece in their house. I just don't know what I want to spend my money on. What's your one talking piece?
Well, what's your favorite? Your favorite movie is what? Love Actually?
Stop.
Something with Rick Moranis? What's your favorite movie?
The Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah. You know, Ace Ventura, like,
You
hey,
know-
this is the actual Ace Ventura shirt. You know, like, there's got to be something that you would want.
Your own little Planet Hollywood if it was 1990 something. You know what? The time's up already. I can't believe this show went so quick. I have one
guess
final.
what? We're still going to be here tomorrow. So
One final thought about last night's game because I'm seeing all the highlights like we all are going to see throughout the day of Bears, Niners. You could argue game of the year. That and Seahawks, Rams. We got two great games over the last couple weeks that could arguably be game of the year. Everyone talking about how Caleb Williams missed a guy wide open in the back corner of the end zone on that last play.
Yeah.
I want to remind people that you know how wide a football field is? We know it's 100 yards, long, plus your end zones. We're talking about 50-plus yards wide. So if he's rolling back, scrambling around, backpedaling down the left sideline, essentially, you think he not only sees but could hit a guy in the back right corner of the end zone?
I mean, it's all easier said than done, Rich. It's what people do. I mean, I saw the same thing, and of course, we're going to see that speculation. But is it easy? No. If it was easy, we'd all be in the NFL.
But I'm saying if he's rolling left and backpedaling on the left sideline, everyone's like, "There's a guy wide open." the 49ers probably saw him and said, yeah, he's not going to make that throw. So there you go.
Well, enjoy your Monday Night Football. We'll talk about it tomorrow. How about that right here
then.
on Fox Sports Radio.
Arrivederci, baby.
See you in the promised land.
Goodbye.